For those of you that are just kind of give it up for the
Hello. Welcome. Where am I? I'm over here. Hello. Hi. What up? It's me, yo boy. What's going on, guys? Are you ready for part 2? I just get my headphones on. There's an echo? There shouldn't be. Hopefully the echo goes away in a second. Uno momento, por favor. This is a playlist. It's kind of loud. This playlist is called Glorpy Video Game Music for Getting Abducted by Aliens. And I absolutely recommend it. So there's the link if you want to check it out. It's Airedale. I'm almost always using Airedale's playlists because they're amazing. Did I buy tea yet? No, I have not. I did get some lemon water though, so. Bees! Alright. We're on to day 2 of this because I thought, why not? Fuck this guy. Alright, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm a little bit, I guess you could say, biased against Vic Mignogna because I kind of know what the guy has been up to over the years, and he's kind of a creep, and I feel like it's reasonable to be biased against guys who are kind of creeps, and gals who are kinds of creeps. If you're being a creep, people probably aren't gonna like you. So let's take a look and see how this do. Let's pause this. This is from also Goofy Otaku, so thank you Goofy Otaku for putting these out. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for assisting in my pain. But you know. Day 2 panel. This is titled, Why Can't We Get Along? Gee, I don't know. Who could say? Let's find out. Maybe we'll have an answer to the question.
give it up for the tech team, you guys. Yes, IT saves the day. How are you guys doing? Having a good day?
How are you guys doing? Are you having a good day? I hope you're having a good day. I believe it is Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. Tomorrow I have a really, I've been learning about Scientology and all the craziness that goes on with it over on Debate Hub with Chris Shelton, who is an ex-Scientologist, and you should absolutely come and check it out. It's a good time. But I hope you guys are actually having a good day. Oh, IT Guru is here. So now we're definitely ready to get started.
See, this is supposed to start at 3:15, but you know what? We're starting early. Because we always run out of time, right? We get to the end like, oh darn it, I have to stop now. So I want to share something with you guys right out of the gate.
He looks more like a creepy youth pastor in this video on this day than he did in the prior day. I'll give him that much.
kind of serious. And then we'll spend the rest of the time talking fun stuff, all right? Rather than talk fun and then leave it on a serious
You went down the Scientology rabbit hole? Yo, it is a trip.
note, which is not near as fun as leaving on a high note, right? As many of you know,
Never mind. Fine.
we had a pretty exciting last-minute announcement for Anime Matsuri for Maxie Whitehead, who played Alphonse in Full Metal. Did you guys see that announcement? Well, I want to share with you guys what happened. It's important to us, all of us, that the truth be told. You want the truth, right? I mean,
He looks 70 trying for 17? That's so mean! I'm not gonna say it's not funny, but Jesus. You guys got no chill.
people want to be told the truth. I have always, let me just preface by saying,
Oh,
I
no.
have always loved Maxie. When
I'm gonna stop you right there, Vic. I'm gonna stop you right there. Don't go down this hole. Don't go down this direction. Don't do it. You can't handle the guys. He's definitely gonna be telling us the truth about how he always loved Maxie. It's okay. My body's ready. Go.
we did
Embarrass
Full
yourself.
Alchemist Brotherhood, and Aaron was no longer able to play the role because he had grown up. Maxie stepped in and did an amazing job, and she and I have always been dear friends. She doesn't do a lot of
All right, who believes him? How many of you believe that he is dear friends with, like, anybody at this point? Let's be real. Like, I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't have friends. I'm pretty sure he's just got people who acknowledge his existence that he just likes to name drop. You know what I mean? Like, he claims to be, like, his use of the word friend is, like, really, really, really loose. I mean, like, Athens got a good point about, like, delusion, right? So, like, if you look at the depositions and you look at any time that Vic Mignogna is kind of talking about anybody, you'll notice that he claims to be friends with people who don't like him and who will turn around and say they never actually liked him. And they're just like, I mean, yeah, we worked together on a project. So he takes somebody being like a reasonably decent person to him at the at the cooler at work as if they have some kind of friendship that he can claim. And in my experience, when people do that, it's like this person is desperate, not actually friends with a lot of people. And like I know people like this that do stuff like this in my real life, and like that it's almost never good. If somebody claims this over and over again, it's likely that they have very few actually close friends because they make no delineation between these things, right? People who have close friends will generally, and people who have friends usually like have degrees of friendship, right? It's like a friendship spectrum, I guess.
events, and I haven't seen her in probably 10 plus years.
They're very good friends and he loves her. They haven't seen each other in 10 plus years. Who made a bet? Oh, it was Mars Girl. Who was that? What did you say? I'd be willing to bet they hadn't actually spoken in years. Well, give Mars Girl the gold star. Here you go. It's yours now. You called it. 10 points.
Her agent told me that she would be really interested in doing an event. So I contacted some of my favorite people, John and Denise, and I said, y'all, this could be really cool. Elric brothers together again, right? And John, being the awesome dude that he's, like, let's make this happen.
Is it because John is awesome, or is it because nobody wants to go to his stupid fucking event? Like, is it because they had to, like, squeeze around to make room for her, or is it because they literally have nobody going to Anime Matsuri because nobody fucking likes this place because they do shit like this? Maybe I'm wrong. maybe I'm wrong. That's just a vibe. Again, I haven't done a stream talking about like the nonsense that is Anime Matsuri, and perhaps I will in the future. But I have an inkling of ick.
So they reached out to Max's booking agent.
By the way, I was corrected yesterday. Vic is I said yesterday that I wasn't 100% sure about where Vic fell on the manga spectrum of crazy. Turns out, no, full on. There's a couple things that he said that I totally forgot about, and I was corrected in the comment section. Go and check out the comment section, by the way, of yesterday's video, because there's some good shit in there. But I have been corrected. He is in fact uber manga, which doesn't surprise me. He hangs up with Alex Stein.
Who represents her, of course. And there were some challenges with whether or not she was going to be available first. For a couple of months, we were talking about.
Oh, really? Was she busy clipping her toenails to hang out with you?
And there was no question. She told us through her booking agent she had no problem doing any events with me or here or whatever. She was looking forward to it.
But that's what you heard from the booking agent. That's not what you and your friend had a conversation about. If she's your friend, why weren't you just talking to her directly? Or even if you were going through a booking agent, like, it's this such a nonsense way people interact. Like, it's so nonsense. Like, this is not normal.
Suddenly, about a week before the show, before Matsuri, I woke up to a text message from John, and it said, quote, "Maxie is coming." I was pretty excited, right? Her booking agent, very excited. Her booking agent was like, she's so forward to seeing you, Vic.
So were you talking to the booking agent, or were you talking to John? Is this what John told you, or is this what the booking agent told John, who then told you? Why is this so weird? Why is this story so bizarre?
It's gonna be great. And I was thinking, how cool for the fans. Because if you're a fan of Full Metal Alchemist, you get virtually zero opportunities to have both the brothers at one place at one time.
Oh yeah, why is that? Why is that, Vic? Is it because nobody lets you go anywhere else because you're a fucking creep? I think it's because nobody lets you go anywhere else because you're a fucking creep. Is it because Maxie doesn't really want to be around you? Because I don't believe you when you tell me that her agent allegedly either told you or John, who then also told you, that she was definitely cool and didn't have any problems with you. Hey, why did she have to, Vic, why did she have to specify? Or why did you have to specify in your story? Why? Or that she was definitely really cool and fine with you being on a panel? Why did you have to expressly say that, I wonder?
Might never happen. It hasn't happened in a very long time. So John and Denise pulled out all the stops, and I'm just telling you guys, they went out of their way. They had things printed. They had banners made. They agreed to all of the requests in the contract. And the contract was signed. And it was a done deal.
Okay.
I was excited. I was like, oh, we need to make a...
And then Maxie was like, ah, gosh darn, I gotta go wash my hair. Not gonna make it. I don't know that. I'm just joking.
A special print of just the brothers that doesn't exist anywhere else on Earth for the fans. And everything was great. John even made...
I'm guessing because he keeps saying the word was, and like past tense, so now it's not great.
Made a cool promo image of the two of us. You might have seen it.
Is it AI?
It said brothers reunion or whatever. That promo image was posted to publicly announce that Maxie was going to be here. And within about 3 hours of that post, John got a phone call from Maxie's agent.
Oh, did he? We're supposed to feel bad that the shitheads who run the con did a bunch of work and then their work got yeeted, I guess. Was for nothing. How, oh, so sad.
Maxie wants to cancel because she's getting pushback from some other voice actors.
Because she's busy washing her hair and has to go clip her toenails.
You don't think she should be there with you?
So Vic wasn't told this directly by Maxie. This is something that John is telling Vic was told to John by, allegedly, Maxie's agent. So, first off, objection hearsay, Your Honor. Do we believe John? Second off, yeah, are you surprised? Nobody likes you. You're a creep.
Can I just give you a minute to process that?
Do we need one? No, I think we get it.
Think about it.
My guy, we've been here for years. We know. Yo, you remind me of Aaron. Gosh, who could have foreseen this? Who could have foreseen this? I don't know. I don't know, man. Fucking loser.
Seriously. Maxie, who doesn't do a lot of events, could come here and have had a wonderful weekend meeting hundreds of wonderful people who love her work.
There's so many degrees of separation here between what Maxie may or may not have actually said and the story Vic is telling us. Right? We're getting, there has to be Maxie's agent, John, at least, and then Vic. Right? At least. There's at least 3 degrees of separation. We know Vic is a lying liar who lies. I admittedly don't really know much about John. I'm trying to think, John did write an affidavit, right? During the legal nonsense that he was doing. I'm pretty sure John wrote an affidavit, and his affidavit made fucking 0 sense if it's the one that I'm thinking it was. So, like, other voice act. She's getting pushback from other voice actors. Whoever that might be. I wonder. Good. Good. Get pushback for working with Vic. Fuck this guy.
Make some money to pay her bills. Make a great weekend for everybody, right? And a handful of voice actors who we probably...
Oh, Marsco's correcting me. I'm not familiar with John contributing to the lawsuit in any meaningful way. Who am I thinking of then? There was somebody else then. Who was it? I'll look it up later. I'll look it up and correct it. I'll leave a note.
We will never know who they are. Right? Called her and put pressure on her.
Allegedly.
To cancel.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I have a lot of feelings about this, and I'm holding them in because I think it's so...
You're not holding them in. You're literally describing the situation to your fan base right now for the people who've come to see you. Why? Oh, the comment. Yes, it was the Kamehameha guy. Yep, you got it. That's who I was thinking of. Thank you, Mars Girl. Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of. He's not holding it in. If he was holding it in and was being professional about it, he would keep it to himself. Right? That would be the professional thing to do. That would be the adult thing to do. The adult thing to do would be like, oh, this person decided to cancel. Apparently it has something to do with me. That's unfortunate. Maybe I can talk about this down the line. And he's not holding his hate boner in. He's displaying it to everybody. And trying to convince people. Immoral?
That you would stick your nose in another adult professional's business. Maxie's not a child. She's grown up.
Maxie has an agent who did this for her. She's allowed to have conversations with other adults. Hey, remember yesterday when we were talking about why wouldn't people speak up about somebody being, like, if they got assaulted, why they wouldn't say something is because of stuff like this. They get isolated, and they think nobody else is experiencing it. Is it not an adult thing to do to communicate like normal fucking people? Again, allegedly. Yeah, what a maroon. Maroon is a great word for this, yes.
She's a professional in an industry. Could you
Unlike you. Because you are not a grown-up. You do not act like a grown-up. You are not a professional in this industry anymore. You're a whiny bitch running around to people who you think are already on your side, who are gonna pat you on the back and be like, oh, Vic, oh, no, it's okay. You're such a victim, as you suck off the tit of your rich wife. Fuck off, dude.
To force someone who you have nothing to do with it. You're not coming here. You know, you're not paying her bills. You know what I mean? To stick your pressure in on her. So she said she wanted to cancel, and we were very concerned. I was looking very forward to seeing her. And then
the amount that you were looking forward to seeing her after not having seen her for 10 years is probably more of a reason why she didn't want to go than anything else. Cry.
Nancy sent me a message.
Oh, did she? Said, allegedly.
Will you please ask Anime Matsuri to take down the promo images with us? Because my contract clearly states, non-negotiably, that I am not to be promoted with you.
So they agree. You said earlier in the show that Anime Matsuri agreed with everything in the contract and then violated the contract anyway. I hope it hurt his feelings. Cry. Do it. Cry.
I sent John that message, and I wrote Maxie back, and I said, I have nothing to do with your contract. I never saw the contract. I have no authority over any of that.
Okay, but you just told us. You just gave us your word and guaranteed that John and whatever her face is were following the contract per T. How would you know they were following the contract if you didn't see it and didn't know what it was? You just told us that they followed the contract a minute ago. So do you know what the contract is or not? And if you did know what the contract is, why do you know? I thought this was a professional, everybody's an adult here. Why are you sticking your nose in her contract? What an asshole.
But I'm really saddened to hear that. News to me. But I will let them know your request. A very, very short time after that, before anything else happened, Maxie posted something on the internet. Did you see it?
How dare she?
It said, and I quote, "The contract that I signed with Anime Matsuri expressly stated a clause that said I was not to be promoted alongside Vic Mignogna in any way. So they breached the contract and I'm canceling." You want to know the problem? That's a lie. That clause was not in the contract. There was nothing in the contract about not appearing with me. In fact, she approved the promo image.
Alright, so Mars Girl is stating that Vic is going to say that the contract doesn't say that. Correct, he did say that. John did post the contract, and it's true that it does not have an explicit no Vic clause. However, it does have an I have to approve of all the advertising featuring me clause. John saying she agreed to the advertising of them together, but how do we know that? We've seen no proof of that. So what you're telling me is they're trying to play a semantic game where she said the contract says that she has to approve everything. They then put something that she has to approve any promo. Then they put out something she didn't approve of, and she wanted that in there so she wouldn't be promoted with Vic. And so she's jumping the gun about just cutting to the chase and saying, I didn't want to be promoted with Vic Mignogna. You promoted me with Vic Mignogna without my permission. I explicitly did not want to be promoted with Vic Mignogna. And there's a clause in here, and it's a violation of the contract. So it's a violation of the contract one way or another. Unless they have evidence otherwise that she did approve of that promo. And March Girl is also saying that Vic's description of her Facebook post is not true. Apparently it says, her Facebook post did not say my contract stated I was not to be advertised alongside Vic Mignogna. Apparently did not say that. Why is he talking about this? This is like a creator discussion panel meet and greet situation. Why is this even a fucking discussion? If you pay to go see a voice actor or go see somebody, like if you were to go to like, I don't know, a sci-fi convention and you get to go see, I don't know, pick somebody, William Shatner. Do you want to sit and listen to William Shatner bitch and moan about somebody else's contract with the convention? Like, is that what you're there for? Like, this is literally just Vic Mignogna bitching and moaning in probably one of the most unprofessional ways. Oh, gee, I wonder why this guy is considered a liability and why nobody wants to work with him. Because this is, he a minute ago he was bitching about professionalism, and now he's sitting here whining and moaning and complaining about people going into other people's contracts as he goes into other people's contracts. You're trying to have a pissing contest. Good lord. You would have literally jumped up and asked him that? That's the first thing I would ask about this. If I was at this convention, I'd be like, excuse me, what the fuck are we talking about? Now you've put this on me. Now I have to go and look it up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. I would have been like, oh, okay, well, I'm just here to see this cool voice actor that I like. Neat. And now I'm like, great, now I'm morally culpable to find out what the fuck this guy's talking about. Jesus, he's giving me homework.
I've been a guest here. She knew I was going to be a guest here. Obviously, if you're part of Full Metal, it kind of it doesn't take a big leap to know that it's a Full Metal, going to be a Full Metal thing.
And that doesn't mean she wants to deal with the walking liability and the walking, like, negative PR that comes with dealing with you. So she canceled. And now here you are, being a liability. You're doing the exact thing that makes you the problem. Well, I have a lot of feelings about this, but I'm not going to talk about it. Now let me pontificate about it.
But that post was put out.
And?
I can only assume to cover the real reason.
The real reason? Cool, what's the real reason?
I feel bad.
How do you know what the real reason is? Or do we just all accept that you're a creep? And everybody knows it, and so the real reason why anybody would cancel is because you're a creep. you're just admitting that without saying it. Is that where we're at? Or are you gonna say, oh, because it's a conspiracy? It's a conspiracy, and people don't like you in the industry for no reason. He was such a nice guy. There's no reason why you would be socially obliterated and, like, kicked out of a quite large social circle. No reason. None whatsoever. Listen, people don't always get ostracized for good reasons. Right? I think we all know that. I think people who are, like, anime fans and have grown up with anime, who were likely ostracized in high school over it for a lot of reasons, and people who are con-goers who kind of grew up in that situation, would know what it feels like to get ostracized just because of something you like, or just because, like, for bad reasons. And that does happen. That does not mean that every time somebody is getting ostracized, it's for a bad reason. You know what I mean? So maybe it's okay to just double check. You know what I mean?
Most of all, for you.
Good, feel bad. No, you don't. That's a lie.
Some of you that were at the panel yesterday, we talked a little bit about this. There are people in this industry who somehow think it all belongs to them, and that they can do whatever they want behind everybody's backs.
So you primed the audience for this yesterday? Whoa, that's a little devious.
And cause all kinds of trouble. And you, the people who really deserve and have made all of this possible, you'll never know.
Fans are not owed actors' time. If I'm a fan of anything, no actor owes me their time for the thing I'm a fan of that I paid money for. They were paid for a job, and I bought a product. That's it. He is encouraging such an insanely toxic parasocial attitude. Yes, the industry does not exist without a product nor a consumer of said product. That is just capitalism. That is just the way capitalism works. If there's nobody to buy the product, nobody is going to be making said product. Because there's no way to make said product without paying for it, because people need to eat. So if you have a problem with capitalism, fine, whatever. Then have your problem with capitalism, whatever. But to try to suggest that any voice actor is owed any time or owes any time to any fan just because they're a fan. All right, Vic, you have to come on my show now. I was a fan of yours in high school. I really liked you were on High School Host Club, and I really liked some of the stuff that you were in. I watched D and Angel. Bro, you owe me your time because you wouldn't have a career without me, right? That's what you just said. And you're grateful to me. So you should be grateful to come on to my show because, I liked you before I found out about all this shit. I think you owe me an explanation. Cons are supposed to be fun and cool. The person ruining the fun, cool parts of the con and a convention and making it more difficult for people to just have regular interactions with people who produce the stuff that they enjoy is you. Vic. Oh, come on, Vic, don't be weird about it. We share a name. Don't be weird. Don't make it weird, man. Asshole.
We'll make up stories. Yes, it's just slippery here and change here, and lie here and be dishonest here and change our make promises and then change them here. And
I have altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it further. Prove it then, Vic. If that's what you say happened, demonstrate it. Prove that that's what happened. You tell me how you're able to read Maxie's mind when you haven't seen her in 10 years. This real good friend of yours that you apparently didn't even actually talk to. Come on.
The fans will never know. If there are no fans, there is no industry. And I told you guys this yesterday, and I believe this was...
I'm sorry, is he advocating for all contracts for actors and voice actors to be public knowledge? Is that what he's advocating more for? Is that what's happening? Because, that would be a solution to his imaginary problem, right? His imaginary problem is that people are lying about their contracts because they didn't want to show up to hang out with him. And then he's trying to make his personal issue everybody else's problem. And saying his personal issue about his feelings getting hurt as actually, it's not him that's actually upset, it's actually you that's getting upset. He's trying to flip the script, right? And it's obvious, I guess, if you think about it for 2 seconds. Yeah, he's just, as far as we know, he's just telling a hypothetical story. He may as well have had this conversation with the shampoo bottle in his shower, for all it matters. And here's the other thing. So what if she did? So what if she lied? What are you gonna do about it? You're not exposing her. You're not showing anything. What are you gonna do about it, Vic? Oh, you're gonna rally up your fan base to go do something for you? We're back to this plausible deniability thing? Oh, why can't we just get along? Because you fucking suck, dude! Because you're an inconsiderate prick and you're manipulative, that's why. Why would anybody want to- why should anybody get along with you?
With my whole heart, and I know that John and
He's literally gossiping about everything that happened and try to turn the tables and turn things to his side, and he's just like, why can't people get along? You're the problem! The call is coming from inside the house!
Denise do as well. They work tirelessly.
I don't care about John and Denise.
We've talked about this at length. The fans are what make it happen.
Uh-huh.
It's not the...
There's also a really big difference between a convention and the industry. You could say conventions are a part of the industry, which is a vague umbrella term. Sure, fine. I'll grant you that. But there's a really big difference between a fan base being presented with a product and then liking a product or disliking a product. So, such as an individual anime, right? So let's, like, fucking Fullmetal Alchemist, right? So some people like it, some people don't. Some people are not going to like that product. Some people are going to like that product. Great. But that product was produced and then presented. As opposed to a convention, which requires attendees to pay for the convention itself. And until you are like a big enough convention with a large enough space and a large enough fan base for other things, you are not going to be guaranteed that your convention is going to be successful. The convention is not the industry. A convention isn't something that you fucking do and then sell to people after the fact. It's a conglomerative effort. It's a there's a big difference between what these things are, and he's just lumping them together.
The voice actors. And I'm one of them, and I'll be the first to say it. These shows are not about me. They're not about voice actors. They're not about booking.
Really? Because you seem to be making everything about this about you. You seem to be making this... We've spent 10 minutes on this panel of you bitching that some one person didn't want to hang out with you. And you're making it into your fan base's problem and the people who like to go to cons' problems, and you're making it an anime at whole large issue. Just for you. Why should I care if another voice actor doesn't like you or not? Maybe I care because you're a sex pest, and people who like sex pests are questionable at best.
Agents. They're about you. And that has been largely overlooked by many people in this industry.
Such as who?
So now
Ow.
you know. And that was what I felt was important.
Well, you know, I needed to share this with you so I could make sure that you were upset about the right thing, about why this didn't happen, and it's their fault. Manipulative.
Share with you the truth. To give you a little insight into, unfortunately, what has gone on in our industry. And the way some people...
Again, he's not going to tell you by who, he's not going to tell you when, he's not going to give you examples, he's just going to say that that's the case, and we're just going to take his word for it, I guess. Because why wouldn't we believe good Christian Vic Mignogna? The sex pest.
The industry are trying to pressure other people to do their bidding and push their agenda completely regardless of what you want.
Oh my god, we have the best voice actors, and we're gonna drain the swamp, and I'm gonna come in here with my new Anime Matsuri. We have the best conventions. Okay, believe me. We're gonna produce the best anime, highest quality. Sounding familiar to anybody else?
Is that fair? Is that all fair? It's pretty straightforward.
No, none of that was fair.
Again, I want to circle back and say I love Maxie. I was very very disappointed.
After I just started shitting on her and just threw her under the bus and called her a liar and said she was ruining the industry and was insulting the fans and that she owes the fans a bunch of shit. I love her, though. You want to get an X to doubt in the chat, please?
She wasn't able to make it. I guess I may never understand, what that's all about. And I'm sorry that it went the way that it did. You were the ones that paid the price by not getting the chance to meet her.
Ooh.
But I felt like it was the respect.
If you think she's an asshole, why are you disappointed that you don't get to meet her? Whatever.
Thing to do to share the truth. Because when people put out falsehoods to try to cover themselves, that's not right.
I love her, but fuck her in particular.
Okay? We good? Okay.
Are we?
Big talk. I know that's kind of heavy.
Are we good? Are you okay? I don't think we're good. I don't think that's like a... This is how you want to spend your time. This is how you want to spend the time with the fans that you think are so important. You see God in them. That this is what... Okay. All right. I guess.
But I want to get it out of the way because I felt strongly that you needed to know that is what happened. So if anybody asks, and you'll see people out there on the internet pushing their own stories who know nothing about anything, that...
You mean like you, who wouldn't have known what the contract said had your friend not published it? Like you pushing a one-sided story with an agenda that you just trauma dumped onto these people without their consent. It's just you. That's just you. It's just you're just a hypocrite. That's it. You're just a hypocrite. What would Jesus do, guys? We remember from yesterday? What would Jesus do? Not this.
Directly from the source. That's what happened. Okay?
You just gave us the biggest fucking bunch of hearsay bullshit. And now you're trying to tell us that that's the direct source? Objection, Your Honor. No.
Okay, now let's change gears and have fun talks. Who's got a question? Yes, sir.
What's your favorite moment from Star Trek?
You see, nobody cares about this shit that he's talked about. If anybody cared about him, his feelings, or the situation at large, they would ask him questions about that. But nobody cared about his fucking 12-minute diatribe and then immediately asked him what his favorite moment in Star Trek is. That's a big question. Star Trek is huge, by the way.
Okay, we don't have enough time. That's a whole different panel. My favorite moment from stuff. Oh my goodness, I can't think of something. I love them all. Maybe my favorite moment was when I first discovered it, right? When you first find...
They're asking about your favorite part in the show, not you. You see how he just makes it about him? Nobody was asking about how he felt watching Star Trek or what his, no, they're asking about what his favorite part of the show was. Like a favorite moment. Like, I don't know, when Spock is dying, the needs of the many, you will always be my friend, blah. Or Christopher Lloyd Klingon. Like, that's what people, tribbles. Like, that's what people are asking about. And now he's gonna be like, I'm 14 and this is deep. Didn't he say yesterday that he barely remembers anything?
Something that inspires you in some way, in a way that nothing ever has before. The first episode.
Hey, Vic, do you have any idea or any understanding of the greater depth of philosophy and politics in Star Trek? Because, you might want to review that.
That I ever watched was called The Tholian Web. And it was a great episode, and it kind of got me, I'm like, what is this? I want to see more of this.
Okay, so what about
every
it?
Every day I would go home from school at 5 p.m., Channel 11, I can't even believe this, WIIC in Pittsburgh, and would watch that show. So don't ever ask me a question about Star Trek that you're not prepared for an hour-long answer, okay?
Okay, but you didn't answer the question. You didn't even say what part of that episode you liked. You remembered what channel it was on, but you didn't remember, like, the thing that, like, attached you to the show at all. It's almost like you're lying. It sounds to me like you're lying. It sounds to me like you're doing that placaty thing where you try to say something deep to make people think that you're smarter and deeper than you are, but you actually didn't say anything. Sophistry. Sophistry. Thank you, Bricks in the chat. Yeah. Sophistry. Vic is just, he's a sophist.
Oh no! Yes, you look awesome. Great.
So I have been searching for some interesting jeans lately, and I just had to ask, where did you get your jeans from?
Did you hear that, sweetheart?
Oh my god.
Okay, if you know me, if you've been around for a while, you know I have been mercilessly teased for years about my pants.
Yes. Correct. That is the true thing. He's been mercilessly teased about his pants and the fact that he keeps trying to look like a youth pet. Like, I'm one of the kids. Like, hello there, fellow kids. Ah, good fucking god. Remember, these are people who have already paid to go and see Vic. You know what I mean? Blue Baron sent a super chat for 2. Thank you very much. Are you surprised Squally finally escaped Vic's orbit? No. I guess good for her. Though I don't know how responsible or irresponsible she's been about that. I do remember when she said she tried to stay as stupid about something as possible, and then she got mad that we used papyrus in the thumbnail. But uh-oh, that was weird. Oh, my whole thing just did my browser just ate shit for a second. Looks like everything's fine though. Hi. So I mean, I'm not surprised. But I mean, I hope she does better. You know what I mean?
And the shoes. Well, that's news to me. Okay, so it's the shoes as well.
Is he gonna answer the question and tell us where he bought the pants? Was it Spencer's? Like
What? I can't hear that.
Remember what I said about your cosplay? No, I love you guys. No, honestly, you know what? I like cool things. And I'm sorry, but I bet I'm in good company. We can all laugh about it, but come on now. Ain't nobody should be just.
Did it freeze for you guys? Hold on, let me see if I can fix that. Am I frozen? I'm not frozen. And it looks like chat is not. Is chat frozen too? Looks like it. Hold on, let me reset real quick. I think my thing just ate shit. Because, you know, that happens. Hold on. Let me just. Oh, don't do that. Is there a refresh button? Where is refresh button? Ooh. Let's just do this. This should work. Uno momento, por favor. See if I can fix it. Ta-da! Alright, is chat fixed? Okay, looks like chat's fixed. Now let me get the, desktop capture fixed. Yeah, I see that. I'm working on it. It's gonna take a hot second. I mean, he's paused right now, so that's good. Hold on 1 second. Just so you don't have to, like, watch me futz with this too much. Solar flare? Oh, is that what happened? Borg! Fucking chill out, dude. Jesus Christ. There we go. Alright. Should be good. That should fix it. I'll put it back a little bit so you guys can see. But Borg, refresh! You're so far behind. Stop yelling at me. I'm leaving. Alright. Back at it. Let's go.
You know what? I like cool things. And I'm sorry, but I bet I'm in good company. We can all laugh about it, but come on now. Ain't nobody should be judging anybody about what's worn at an anime convention. Am I right? I could never. Thank you. I think they're cool too. In fact, you know what? I've got some much weirder ones that I may never wear again because I'm too embarrassed from that time.
Bro, are you gonna answer where you got the pants from or not?
But I love your question. See, I like you, and I don't like you. Because you said, where do you get your cool pants? You know what? Where I get them is where.
Wow, you mean he's really susceptible to flattery? I'm not surprised.
I find them. I know that's kind of stupid thing to say, but there's no one place. And you guys know this too. You'll be snooping around on the internet, right? And something pops up, you're like, dang, that's cool. And you want to get it, right? And you order it, and it's from China, so you may get it, you may not get it, if you know what I mean. Or it may look nothing like what you ordered. That's pretty awesome too. That happens pretty often.
The question was, where did you get your pants? Yeah, Walmart, I guess.
But there is a cool place, I will tell you, there's a cool website that I have gotten a lot of them from called Worn Star, as if I've worn these pants for too long. Worn Star, they have all kinds of cool. Maka, your dad loves you. She's dressed as somebody, I played her father in Soul Eater. I love some Soul Eater cosplay.
Oh.
You guys look great.
She's dressed as Maka from Soul Eater. Soul Eater was very good. But anyway.
Give it up for him, y'all.
Yeah, Soul Eater.
So that's one. But hey, I'm not afraid to buy from Wish.
He still hasn't even technically answered the question. The question was, where did you get your pants from? And he said, well, I get a lot of my pants from this place, but not necessarily specifically these. Why is it pulling teeth with this man? Why are you so weird? Why are I'm at the point where I think he's more weirdly parasocial than his fan base is. I brought snacks because we eat in disrespect. I have no respect for this man.
Any number of those. What? I am taking a chance. But the good news is it's only $4. So if it's garbage, you're just like, oh, that was a frappuccino, that was a cup of coffee, whatever. But every once in a while you find something cool, But thank you for asking. You guys are awesome, and I love you too.
I've made a joke before where I said all questions must be in the form of a compliment, and apparently Vic Mignogna takes that seriously.
These are new rock. They're really well made too, and I feel very.
Oh my god, so yeah, these pants weren't even from the website he said. These are from a different place. Unbelievable. Oh my god. Fucking 4-minute question.
Tall in them. They're my Edward Elric shoes. Right? They're your tiny alchemist shoes. Who's got a question? Yes, sir. Sure. Yes, it is very true. Yes, he said that he heard that when Full Metal Alchemist was cast, the Japanese company picked the cast. That is true. In fact, you may be surprised to know that that is true for a lot of the big shows. The reason is because the Japanese care very much.
Was. You don't know what is or is not the case in the industry anymore, Vic. You've been out of it for like a decade.
About how their shows are represented in other countries. Sometimes not so much. Maybe the show didn't do too well. Maybe they're like, hey, if you can make some money off this, fine, we don't really care. But some of them, Naruto, One Piece, you know, some of the big ones, Full Metal, certainly.
Honestly, I really think the question that somebody really needs to ask Vic Mignogna is what's the newest anime that you've watched? He hasn't brought up anything that's new. All of this is all old.
They're like, oh, this is what happens. The company that gets the license, they'll say to you, okay, Funimation, you have the license for Full Metal Alchemist now. We want you to collect auditions. And we want you to send us 5 auditions from every character. And then we will decide who we like. So the studio will often compile, you know, they'll look through their roster of actors, and they'll say, well, let's audition this guy and this guy and this guy for this character, and this girl and this girl and this girl for this character, and then they'll send it all off to the company that made the show, and they will ultimately make the decision. I was very fortunate when it came to Full Metal because, as most of you probably know, Edward Elric in Japanese was played by Romy Park, who is a lady.
Goku was played by a lady too. He's talking about Funimation like Funimation separated from Crunchyroll still exists. Yeah, Funimation doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, he has no new or up-to-date knowledge about anything anime related.
And had they decided to do the same thing, I wouldn't have the privilege to be standing here talking with you about Full Metal right now.
No, what a
However,
shame.
The Japanese had decided they did not want a female voice.
The Japanese! The Japanese have decided. Oh my god. This man.
The English version. They wanted to try to find a male voice. And so, thank the Lord.
So they picked fucking you?
I got the chance to audition for it, and it was it was the favorite thing I've ever done. Question? Yes, my dear. Oh, it's not a short film.
His tonality changes from when he's talking to a male audience member versus a female presenting audience member is, like, incredibly distinct. How could people know and assume that I'm being creepy? Gee, I don't know.
It's full-length film. I did a short. Now you just messed me up. I did a full-length film. It was an actual movie. I did a film back last fall that was a horror film. Anybody like horror films? Okay, you know what the best kind of horror films are? They're the cheesy ones that are so bad that they're good. You know what I mean? You know the kind I'm talking about? They're so great. So
stop walking at the camera like that.
Kind of like it is. And I hope the director doesn't hear that because he's going to think that I'm calling his movie cheesy. But I'm not. I'm just saying it's one of those kind of movies that it's fun to watch. And if I were a director, I would want to know that my movie was fun to watch. It's called Her Monster. It's a very cool story. Trust me. It's about a young girl who is kind of an outcast. Doesn't have a lot of friends. Doesn't get along with a lot of people at school. Is kind of a loner. And turns out that her family, it's an Asian family, and her family has this, how would I put it? There is a monster, a creature, that is connected to their bloodline.
Okay, so I pulled up the IMDb for it. If this is a short, so unless it's not this one, and he's talking about there's also this one. So this one's got Vic. Okay, this one's got Vic listed. So I found it. It's this one. It's called Her Monster. Vic Mignogna is playing Nathaniel Briggs in it. there's not even see. Oh, storyline. After surviving trauma, a teen awakens a yokai guardian bound to her bloodline. As their bond deepens, the line between protector and monster fades, dragging her into darkness and revenge. The end. If you're interested in seeing it, when did this come out? Is there a year on here? I'm not seeing the year it was released, but... Million shitty shorts with Vic, including a Silent Hill one. Oh, good. Lovely. Well, alright, go on.
And since the Edo period in Japan, this monster would fight
in your Edo
family's bloodline. And was conjured through this amulet, or some kind of a jewel, that somewhere got lost through the centuries.
God, he's so boring.
And this young girl is part of this bloodline. And she finds it, and this monster ends up basically fighting people that cross her, coming after people like her abusive father, stepfather, or kids at school that make fun of her. So it's a really cool story. And I play this character. Should I tell them a little from my character? I don't know. I play this character who seems like, don't laugh.
Is it not out yet?
That's right, I'm looking at you. He seems like a church leader.
Vic got typecast? Vic got typecast as a fucking weird youth pastor? Amazing! This is the best part of the story so far.
He seems like he's in charge of some kind of a religious organization, and the mother goes to him for help with her daughter because she's like, "What's going on, my daughter? Like, I can't understand this." And he seems to be very benevolent. You know, we can help you.
But he's a fucking creep.
We'll make sure your daughter is safe.
He's not even acting.
Yeah, that's what you think. You know what I mean? He has his own agenda. So that's all I'm gonna say. Which was probably.
Imagine that. So who wants to watch the movie? Her Monster. Again, I don't know if it's out yet because I'm not seeing a date for it, but.
Way too much. But check it out. Her Monster. It's probably going to be released within the next month or two. Don't ask me where. Somebody, where? I don't know. But keep your eyes open for it. And you guys follow me on social media? Okay? Because I will certainly make announcements about it as soon as I know. Okay? Okay, question? Yes?
I might need to go back.
No, Feline, that's the wrong one. That's the award-winning short. The one you're looking for is, I think, is that one. You're looking for this one. Yeah, that's the short film. That's not the one he's talking about. He's talking about this other one. It's... Oh, that's got the right name on it. No, that's got the right name on it. Oh, is it out? So it is a short. It is still a short. What the fuck? I thought he said it was a full... So is it a short or a full length? Whatever. You know what? I don't care. Vic getting his own shit wrong is no surprise to me.
But if you want to go, you can. Or so? Yeah, pretty soon.
Well, I think you just summed it up right there. It's definitely Full Metal, which I
don't know what the question was.
It's definitely Tamaki Suo, the king, and it's certainly Broly. But you know what? I'm going to take a minute and tell you something that I believe. You know, Dragon Ball's been around a long time, right? Long time. And I played Broly. I mean, I've been playing Broly 25 years. I remember.
Broly is not in the show that much. Until recently.
When they asked me to play that. And over these 25 years, I have seen Dragon Ball. Like, oh, it's Dragon Ball. Yeah. Dragon Ball. flow. Maybe something special would happen, and you know what I mean? There'd be like a little spike in Dragon Ball.
You mean that something new for Dragon Ball would come out so people would get excited and start talking about it, and then nothing new would come out for a little while, and then like Dragon Ball Kai got announced, and then like people started watching it again and got to watch shorter versions of it, and then like a movie would come out. Like, what are you talking about?
Popularity. But then it was always there, but it just, wasn't a big deal. It was just always kind of there in the background. And it seems to me that there was one thing that happened that skyrocketed Dragon Ball back into popularity. And it was in 2019. And it was the Super Broly movie.
Oh my god! You fucking egotist. Yeah, Mars Girl's right. Dragon Ball is such an underpinning to like all anime available in the Western Hemisphere that it doesn't really get like so many animes make like jokey references to it left, right, and center. Dragon Ball exists. It's always going to exist. It's one of the things people talk about regardless. If you want to talk about whether or not Dragon Ball spiked in popularity because a movie came out, yeah, people are excited for new Dragon Ball content, but Dragon Ball Super was a thing that people were already excited about. Good God. This is like if I don't know who the voice actor is, but if the person who played the princess character in the princess arc of Bleach came out and was like, well, we had a movie that was the princess arc and that made it super duper popular, except the thing that she's talking about is the 1,000-Year Blood War was coming out. Like, this is insanity. The world revolved. This man thinks the world revolves around him. Holy moly. Yeah, Resurrection F came out. Dragon Ball Super people were already super excited for and was already happening. Like, Battle of the Gods. Good God, man. Unbelievable.
I have never seen anything like it. I'm just telling you what my experience. My experience was that people that were moderately Dragon Ball fans were Dragon Ball fans. You know what I mean? Or that people that had never been were into it. Like, or it had just a whole new...
I have never seen somebody be so egregious while also trying to pretend to be humble at the same time. To be like, I'm so grateful to the fans, this stuff wouldn't happen without the fans, while completely ignoring all of the other things that took place leading up to his own fucking thing that made him popular, which is also the thing that made people pay attention to what a piece of shit he was. Like, unreal.
Revived excitement around it. So,
Mars Girl makes a really good point. Vic Mignogna never saw anything like it because he himself was not involved in any other movies because Broly wasn't in them. That's it. That's it. Just because you didn't experience it, Vic, just because it wasn't you related doesn't mean it didn't fucking happen. Other things that don't include you happen in the world. And they don't involve you and they don't care about you at all. You're not a special little boy.
Obviously would be part of that list. And I played a lot of roles over the years. I've loved all of them. But those are probably the ones.
Yeah, no, I'm at the point where I'm starting to believe that he doesn't watch any anime unless he's in it. So I'm starting to think that, like, yeah, no, he doesn't, not only does he not, he's not an anime fan. He only watches the stuff that he's in, and then he uses it as an excuse to preach and sit on a soapbox and pretend he's better than everybody else.
That I'm most asked about. Or that are, I guess, most people ask about. Question? Yes, ma'am. Oh, I see how that goes. Have your own hand-raised person. You're 4'9"? That's beautiful. You may be the only person who's shorter than
Ed. Yeah, ha 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 ha. Very funny. It's almost like that was the most predictable joke I've ever heard in my life.
In the best way. You look amazing. What is this cosplay from?
God, he's so weird.
Ah, Demon Slayer. What is your question?
He doesn't recognize Demon Slayer because he doesn't watch any anime.
I think this question for you is a Vampire Knight question. What was your favorite quote during Zero?
You know what? This weekend I've signed a lot of Zero things, and I've been reminded about a lot of quotes that I did not know before.
You just answer a question.
The one that I always really loved, and whenever anybody would say, "Hey, write a Zero quote on this print or on this wall scroll or whatever," I would always use the old quote, "Yuki, if ever I turn into a level E, I want you to kill me." Okay,
So-
that's pretty classic.
So you guys think he's at a level E? Is Vic at a level E?
I'll write that one down. But no, I saw some this weekend that were really good. And by the way, that reminds me, y'all, after this panel, in this room, is a Vampire Night cast Q&A. So I hope you won't go anywhere. I hope you pack a lunch. And I also would be
Vic is at level F for fuck this shit.
remiss not to tell you this. You've seen the beautiful print downstairs that we had exclusive for Anime Matsuri. No Vampire Night fan on the planet ever anywhere else will own that print but you if you came to Anime Matsuri.
Ooh. Is there a big outcry to have, like, Vampire Night make a comeback? Is there like a Vampire Night people want to, like, see a re-release of it? Because I doubt it would include Vic Mignogna. Although, admittedly, I don't know which studio owns Vampire Night right now, so... But is that something people care about? I remember my memory of Vampire Night is that it has not aged well, but I haven't looked at it in a long time. Is that a thing people want?
This is the original. This is the hand-painted original.
Hey, if you want Vampire Night fan artwork, hire me. I'll just do one for you.
And I want to try to raise some money for charity. I'm not really sure how to do that.
I'm the charity. You're giving me the money if you hire me to do one of these. So the charity is me. It goes to my snacks.
Because I'm not super savvy on that kind of thing. But I wanted you to know that I want to be able to raise money for charity. So if you're a Vampire Night fan and you'd like to have the original, I'm going to mention it in the Vampire Night panel as well, and then I will have it at my table the rest of today and tomorrow, and you can come and we'll figure something out there. By the way, any Marvel fans in here? Who's the biggest Marvel fan? Are you serious? Are you the biggest Marvel fan? Okay, then answer me this.
He's done 3 questions.
It's unfortunate that I don't know many Marvel questions.
This is supposed to be a Q&A that people paid for. He's answered 3 questions. Barely.
Spell Marvel. You looked at the box. That doesn't count. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, this is the way we're doing this. A lot of you said you're Marvel fans. I have a favorite Avenger. Iron Man. And
IT Guru says that the prints that he's talking about sold so poorly that they were in the dumpster after the event and there were pictures of it on Instagram. Oh my god.
nobody calling out. If you're a Marvel fan, by the way, I'm going to give this to whoever wins. This has probably got a couple $100 worth of. You ever seen these mystery boxes? Yeah, I was given some by the company that makes these.
Oh my god.
So I gave a young lady this morning one. I gave a My Hero Academia one away. So this one is going to go. If you are a big Marvel fan, raise your hand and I will call on you. And if you guess who my favorite Avenger is, you will get this. Okay? Yes. Sorry, no. Oh, I just realized my process of elimination. You know what? You deserve a good chance. Sorry, no. My bearded friend. Yes! Captain America! See? First she's nice about the clothes, now he gets free stuff. See how that works?
Oh.
Rest of the weekend, people are like, I really like your pants. I really like your shoes. Can I get something for free?
Yeah, we know. You're easily flattered and easy to manipulate based on flattery. Definitely not like Donald Trump at all, like I was joking about earlier.
Let's do another one.
Megan.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Did you hear that?
This is why I don't go to
Every
conventions.
dog in the neighborhood is going to be coming up the steps right now. Well, she could win. But I feel like there should be some kind of a competition where you scream so loud. By the way, I gotta tell you,
I think she's a Yu-Gi-Oh
my
fan.
friend downstairs, Skip. Y'all, this is a funny story over here. Stand up, sweetie. Okay, right? She looks great, right? So.
Oh, it's Blossom from Winx. There, I made it. Does Vic Mignogna know that Captain America doesn't like Nazis and fascists?
Cosplay. She came to my table, and I'm sitting there signing and talking to somebody in front of me, and my buddy Skip is helping today. If you met him, he's awesome, and he's talking to her, and he goes, "Hey, so what are you, a mermaid?" And I'm like, "Bro, she's got wings." Mermaid. So she could.
So do you know what it is? 'Cause
Stop.
Bloom. So what did I say? Blossom? Yeah, it's Bloom. Sorry.
Mermaids can fly. Well,
Blossom is from Powerpuff Girls.
I'm not touching that one. Okay. All right. So should I give this to her? I think I should just give this to her. Don't you think? Although I will ask you a question about Yu-Gi-Oh. I was in Yu-Gi-Oh for a brief time, and very few people know about it because there was this interesting story behind it. Do you know what Yu-Gi-Oh I was in? Does anybody here know? Anybody?
I think I might know the answer to this,
See,
but I'm
well,
not
look,
sure.
you have no competition.
I like
You
trivia.
win. Actually, anybody remember Yu-Gi-Oh Zexal? Well, let me tell you. 4 Kids, the company in New York that dubs Pokemon and a couple of different shows.
Yeah,
They had
Zexal.
been dubbing Yu-Gi-Oh for a while. And suddenly one day, I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and one day a company called Bang Zoom that I had done actually where we recorded Vampire Night called me and they said, we want you to come in because we want you to play a role in this in Yu-Gi-Oh, this new season of Yu-Gi-Oh. And my first thought was, this is awesome. Like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I mean, that's like Pokemon, Digimon, all those shows that kind of made.
Oh, you mean the thing that was popular and made money? The thing that you said was ruining the industry last panel yesterday? That stuff? That there would be accolades behind doing something like Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh, can't
brought
be that.
anime into the mainstream in many ways. So I was just excited to be a part of Yu-Gi-Oh. So me and Johnny Bosch and several others got cast in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. And I was cast as Shark. And my beautiful wife right here, say hi, Dominique. My beautiful wife knows that I'm a big Shark fan. So I thought, how cool is this that I just got cast as a character named Shark? We started recording and we were probably at least 8 or 10.
What? Your wife wasn't around then? You've lost me on the timeline, my guy.
10 episodes into the season, and then somebody from Bang Zoom came into the studio one day and said, yeah, so we need...
Oh, thank God. Oh, bless. Oh.
Katara.
That was weird.
Ah, shit.
Just right back up. They said, 4 Kids
Damn it.
has filed a lawsuit because they say they have first rights to Yu-Gi-Oh! So we're going to keep recording and we're going to hope for the best, but We just need you to know that's going on. So we kept recording, and guess what happened?
Oh, is he Mars Girl? Is he pulling a yellow flash? He's calling Zexel when it's supposed to be pronounced Zeal. And it's like, what was that? What it was? He's yellow flash pronounced Yowie wrong. Was that what it was?
4 kids won the lawsuit against who? I guess I don't know who it was, Bang Zoom or whoever. They won the. Four kids. Watch this one die on me, just to spite me.
Yes.
4 kids won the lawsuit, and so we had to stop recording. And they.
So Vic has a long history of losing lawsuits, I guess, or things that involve him in lawsuits.
Started over with people in New York and recorded Zexel. Now I will tell you, if you're interested, if this story.
Yeah, that was it.
There are episodes that have been leaked, as it were, on the internet of our version, the episodes that we recorded of Zexel. So if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, if you happen to have been gifted with a Yu-Gi-Oh box.
If you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan and you don't want to support the official releases of your show and would rather look at pirated illegal shit, go for it, I guess.
Check it out. Question? Who's got a question? Yes, my full metal friend.
Was this just for the pro?
Oh my god, this is so long. I was like, oh, this is gonna be like, and we're getting through this pretty good. No, we're about halfway through. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be back as he goes through it. And the next thing, BRB, guys. I gotta go get another drink. So go get some snacks and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, I have returned. Let's get this paused. Glorpy music for getting abducted by aliens. Hell yeah. Alright, he's getting another question. Good lord. I mean, for anybody who was like Vic was saying, I guess, oh, you don't get to go to these panels and you get to, you're getting left out because anime conventions won't let Vic show up. Well, this is what a Vic panel is like. So, do you really feel like you've been missing out? I don't. This is painful. Thank you for the stretch, I will take that.
Did you play a warlock in World of Warcraft?
I can't believe you found that video. Oh, I remember that. You know what? A friend of mine told me, you should do a World of Warcraft commercial because they're just standing in a white room and they're talking about being a character. And so here's the funny part, y'all. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you my World of Warcraft story. So I did that for fun. I wasn't in the game. I'm not a warlock. And I'm like, at the end, I'm like, I can even do alchemy, right? Because the warlock does alchemy. So
no, because the joke was you played Edward Elric, and Full Metal Alchemist was popular at the time when that commercial came out.
it was patterned out. Oh, I know why it was. I think William Shatner did one. And William Shatner.
Yes, William Shatner did one, and Mr. T did one. How you ended up in the wheelhouse is beyond me.
And I played so-and-so. And so I was like, oh my gosh, if Bill did one, I want to do one. So I did
You should stop calling him Bill.
one just for fun. I wasn't in the game. It was just to do it. Well, then I moved to LA, and I started getting auditions for things in LA. By the way, at the time, if you didn't live where the studios were, you're not going to get a chance to be in a show. Like, you know, Oron was recorded at Funimation in Dallas. If you lived in Vancouver, you're probably not going to be in Oron. See what I'm saying? Like, anything that was recorded in LA was almost exclusively cast with LA actors because it just.
And you know what happens when an industry expands and gets bigger and has more money to spend and the technology improves, more people are able to join in and work in the industry from various places and you get more diversity. But that's the thing you're complaining about, because that means it's greedy now. You want to get paid for your work.
It just makes sense. So I started getting auditions for World of Warcraft. And I thought, well, this is kind of cool. I made this dumb commercial for no reason, but just for fun, and now I'm actually auditioning for it. So what kept happening, though, was the agent that I had in LA kept sending me these auditions for World of Warcraft that, like, I'll never get cast as this character. Like, you hear my voice, right? This is what I sound like. And they would send me auditions for, like, a 15-foot tall orc.
Bro is complaining that voice acting involves acting. Bro. Voice differentiation. I'm sorry, what is Broly besides a giant orc? Like, that is what Broly basically is. What the hell? Oh, this was back in the day, so maybe he was union at the time.
Something or other. And I'm like, listen to me! I'm not gonna get cast as an orc, right? I'm squirrely little baby orc at best, right? And after a while...
Athens says that I have more range than Vic. I have more range than Vic Mignogna. I assure you. My GLaDOS impression? I used to be very good at impressions.
I just didn't even send in an audition because I'm like, that's just a waste of my time. They're not gonna cast me, and so I'm not gonna do it.
So you just didn't do it? What? How inspirational.
So one day he sends me an audition for some character in World of Warcraft, and I was bored. I think I just had nothing to do. And I'm like, you know what? Why not? I'll just record an audition. Who cares, right? It's not going to amount to anything. It's not going to go anywhere. It was a character named Ner'zhul, and he was this big, mean, dark orc. So I recorded this audition. I pushed my voice as low as I could.
Oh, you mean you did voice acting for the first time? For the last time? Congratulations. March Girl is specifying that Vic Mignogna has shown that he is in fact being SAG-AFTRA, even recently during the last SAG strike, but just complains about union dues and says he would not actually strike with SAG. Yeah, it sounds about right. He seems like a selfish bitch.
And trying my best. That was about all I could do. And I'm thinking, they're still not going to go for that, right? So I used a pitch control device and dropped the pitch of my voice 2 more semitones. So it was like ominous and kind of scary, right? They cast me. Okay, so my first thought was, awesome! I'm gonna be in World of Warcraft. My second thought was, crap! I'm gonna get into the studio and I'm gonna, hi!
So you lied and then... What? I thought you said lying was bad for your own... Didn't he just say that people would lie and scheme for their own benefit in the industry? Didn't he... Wasn't that just a thing he was just talking about? This guy's unbelievable.
I'm the one you cast for their soul! And they're gonna look at each other like, what have we done, right? So I walk into the studio, Blizzard, right? I walk into the studio.
Do you think he's friends with Pirate Software? That would be funny.
And I'm like, hey, Vic Mignogna, thanks so much. I'm really excited to be doing this with you. And they're like, hey, Vic, thanks for being here. I'm thinking, okay, so far so good. And I said, look, full disclosure. I said, I pitched my audition down because I felt like the character needed to be lower than I could go. And you know what they said? Get out. No, they didn't say that. They said, we know. That's what we liked about it. And I was like, wait, back up, what? And they said, it gave the voice some kind of an unhuman, inorganic feel. And it wasn't.
I don't believe his story. Do you guys believe his do you believe him? Do you believe the story he's telling? I'm sure part of what he's saying is true, but like this seems like it's so embellished, especially when he's like seems to really inconveniently or very conveniently, depending on how what your perception is, remember things. So like
something you can really put your finger on. You just kind of felt that it wasn't a normal guy. Yeah. And it's an orc, so why would it be? Right? So that kind of worked out. Question. 1 second. We'll get people that I haven't asked yet. Yes, sir. Ken, right?
I got a question.
The question, by the way, he was supposed to be answering was, did you play a warlock in World of Warcraft? The answer was he's never played the fucking game.
I love this guy right here. Star Trek Continues question.
You know, in the original Star Trek, there was a lot of famous sci-fi writers like Harlan Ellison, James Bliss. When I watched Star Trek Continues, you guys got the stories really close to like the feeling of the original series. How did you do that? Is there any process to that?
Well, I thank you for the question. Did you guys hear that? All that? For those of you that don't know, that you're like, some of you probably back in the back, like, we came in here to talk about anime and voice acting and what Star Trek was and so on. I executive produced a live action.
It is very bizarre to me that Vic Mignogna would assume that anime nerds would not know what Star Trek is. Like, if you want to talk about something that is, like, a little bit mainstream or something that's, like, forward in pop culture, Star Trek! Star Trek's up there.
Action web series called Star Trek Continues because when I was a little boy, I loved Star Trek. And so I decided after 4 decades that I wanted to create a series based on the original series, because you may or may not know this, but the original Star Trek, and everybody knows Star Trek, whether you like it or not, everybody knows Star Trek. There have been 15 different TV shows.
Then why are you explaining this to people like they don't know what the fuck that you're talking about?
Right, and 20 different movies and video games and all, and it's a big deal. It's iconic. It's part of our culture. But the original series that started it all was abruptly canceled in its 3rd season of television. It was too expensive to make, and the network didn't want to make it. And so they just kept cutting the budget until finally they kept putting it in bad time slots, doing anything they could to ruin the show. So my idea was, let's pick up where the original series was canceled and finish the show. And that's what we did. And as of today, we have nearly 22 million.
My guy, the question was about the writing process, about how you were able to match the tonality of the original series. They didn't ask what you did. God. This is infuriating. Just answer the damn question. It's almost like he doesn't actually know what the answer is and he's buying time and just likes to hear himself talk. Because he probably doesn't actually have any fucking opinions about the writing process because he doesn't fucking know. Because he's one of those people that skates by on everybody else's work. Nick Rekieta, Squally, he skates by on their work until he burns them out and uses them up and then throws them under the bus.
It's live action. You should check it out. You're probably thinking, yeah, he's trying to get me to buy something. No, it's free. It's all free. It was made as a labor of love, and it's all free at StarTrekContinues.com. If you watch it, you'll enjoy it, and you will see a lot of familiar faces. Voice actor friends of mine, actors from other TV shows. But in answer to your question, fan productions of almost anything have a tendency to be a little rough to watch. Is that fair to say? We've probably all seen, ooh, cool, look, a fan production of such and such, and then you watch it like, right? And so when I started this project, I thought to myself, if we're gonna do this, I'm gonna tell stories that are Star Trek stories, that are human morality questions and ethical questions and social issues and things that Star Trek did so well. A lot of you don't.
I dare Vic Mignogna to try to go onto a stream or a channel that hosts philosophy and social debate. I fucking dare you. Going on fucking Alex Stein.
Know this because of your age, but Star Trek was revolutionary in the late 60s because on the television you weren't allowed to talk about race. On television you weren't allowed to talk about the Vietnam War. On television you weren't allowed to talk about overpopulation. But the creator of Star Trek figured out a way to tell Star Trek sci-fi stories that addressed those issues. And everybody knew what they were referring to, but they couched them in these imaginative stories. And they got these powerful messages through to the audience. So I had decided from the very beginning, if we're gonna do this is not just going to be a typical fan film where Captain Kirk...
Okay, so, no, a bunch of shit he just said is all wrong, and it would take me forever to go through each one of those claims. You weren't allowed to talk about the Vietnam War on TV. What the fuck are you talking about? No, none of that stuff is true. And yeah, that's still not the question. For fuck's sakes. The question is how did you get the tonality accurate? Jesus Christ, my guy. God damn it.
Down to the planet, he fights a Klingon, he fires a phaser. No, that is not Star Trek. Star Trek is human. story and the human condition, our relationship with each other. So I set the bar.
It's so I'm 14 as this is deep. Okay, I play in a TTRPG Star Trek game that is fucking streamed, where we play tabletop Star Trek dice rolling games. Captain Kirk being a fuckboy is definitively part of the series. Captain Kirk being the macho man, double-fisting a guy in a costume is absolutely part of it. It wasn't, like, there is philosophy in the original Star Trek, but really delving into the human condition was the Next Generation. That's where that really started to take place. And don't get me wrong, the original Star Trek series did, in fact, question things and push the envelope of what, like, having one of the first interracial kisses, if not the first interracial kisses on screen. Right, that did exist, that did happen. There was technology that was explored a little bit that ended up coming into fruition later, right? But this is not the major, like, what is in a man debate that Picard has to have with Riker, and Riker has to debate against Data being a person, which is not something that Riker really believes, is a whole fucking thing. But this is the Next Generation stuff, not the original. And yeah, good question. The answer is I just decided to do it that way, which is not the fucking, that doesn't answer the question. Because you decided to do it that way doesn't tell us how you successfully did so, which is the question. Oh my god.
Really high, Ken. And once we started, I wrote the first one, and once we started, we got a lot of submissions from people who'd written Star Trek stories over the years. Fans that, oh, I wrote a script for Star Trek, blah, 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 blah. Captain Kirk beams down to the planet, he fights the Klingons. Nope. The man that was the showrunner for Star Trek back in the 60s, he famously said something that when he would get a script or a submission for a script of Star Trek, he would ask himself one simple question within about 3 pages: what's it about? What's it about? If you're 10 pages into a story and you don't know what it's about, that's not a good story. So that was the way we approached our stories. We didn't say, hey, let's wear something fun and write a story around it. You know what I mean? We're like, let's come up with a theme. What's going on in our world right now?
Okay, so you tried to imitate the philosophy around the script design of the original showrunner in the 60s. That's the answer. And then you said his philosophy was this, so we tried to emulate that, and that's how we did it. You're welcome. The end.
Human question, an ethical quandary that we can make up a story for and share that message. So that was our goal from the very beginning. It was very intentional. Thank you. Yes.
Oh shit, it was intentional.
You did several English openings for the anime you were either a part of or some of them you weren't, and I was curious if you had any that were favorites of yours, because the one you did for D and Angel is one of my favorites.
I was gonna say D and Angel.
Thank you.
I was gonna say I bet it's D and Angel. Nobody remembers D and Angel. I feel so alone in the world sometimes.
I had been doing music, writing.
Oh, by the way, it's super cringe. Don't go watch it.
Singing and playing and recording long before I ever started voice acting. And when I started voice acting, and whenever we would come across a show that had music in it, I would think, oh my gosh, this is perfect, right? Because I do music, and now I'm voice acting. We should find a way to put this together. But what I learned was, and this may be news to some of you as well, for the most part, the Japanese companies, at least back then, didn't want you dubbing their theme song. Why? Anybody want to venture a guess? Exactly.
I didn't hear
They
any of
want to
that.
sell records. They want you to buy the records of the Japanese band that recorded that song. So for many
I have a favorite. I like Bump of Chicken.
years, there were no English dubs of theme songs for Japanese anime series.
The Dragon Ball Z had a dub. I mean, it wasn't a dub. Like, I guess it wasn't a. It was. I guess it was a new, unique, original song, not a dub. I guess that's what he means. Then I guess. I don't know.
And then little by little, it changed, and I'm sure you've seen it better than anybody. I sang 3 theme songs for One Piece.
Uh-huh.
Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Kai. Yeah. And then of course recorded some like Tommy.
Yeah, 90s animes did have dubbed theme songs. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. You like Bump of Chicken too? I'm not alone. Yeah.
He's got a couple of character songs from Oron that I've recorded. But as far as favorite, I don't know. Brothers from Full Metal is a beautiful piece of music. It's just a beautiful piece of music. I mean, my dog could sing that song, and it would be a heart-wrenching, tear-jerking song. My wife's like, maybe not. Why did that sound like Scooby-Doo? Next question. Yes.
We're gonna make it through this, I promise.
Oh my gosh, what a great question.
I couldn't hear the question.
There are a lot. There are ones that I thought were really good, and they probably were, but they just weren't high-profile shows. You know what I mean? There was a show called Level E. Exactly. He literally went like this. Exactly. It was about a character, it was about an alien that came to Earth.
Oh
He kinda
no.
looked like Tamaki, actually.
Really? Marshall said that the fan that wrote a translation for the Brothers song and gave it to Vic for him to record for himself stated they really regret it now. Yeah, fair, man. The fair.
Had long blonde hair and a white bodysuit. And he
Did Vic ever pay Monica? Well, as far as I can tell, Vic's wife is going to be paying all of his legal fees. So, you know.
was fascinated with pop culture. His name, if you know any Japanese, was Prince Baka. Tell my wife what Baka means. Idiot. And he was, but a lovable idiot. And what was so fun about it was, I didn't audition for it. The director, Joel McDonald, called me one day and he said, hey, I just got assigned this new show and I want you to play the lead. And I'm like, okay, great. Right? Awesome, I love voice acting. Okay. And I went into the studio the first day and I said, okay, Joel, tell me about this character. And he tells me the basic story that I just told you. And I said, so what do you want him to sound like? He literally put his feet up on the desk and he goes, do whatever you want.
I was gonna say Tamaki, just do Tamaki.
I was like, wait, let me record you saying that. Because nobody's gonna believe it.
Marshall will say, answering the question about whether or not Monica's been paid, although we don't know for sure, a few lawyers have said that they believe that Vic has in fact paid Monica, Ron, and Jamie, and that they think that's why he feels emboldened to be a dick again now. Oh. I'm still betting money on his wife.
And he seriously, he said, you know what this character is like? He's like Robin Williams. He said he's like, 1 minute he's making a funny voice, and the next minute he's imitating some pop culture character, the next minute he's serious, then the next minute he's... I mean, he's all over the map. And I'm thinking, this is an actor's dream, right? So, sure enough, we started recording, and we get to some point where there was something going on in the story, and I said to him, "Can I?"
I'm glad all of you reacted to him bringing up Robin Williams in the exact same way that I did. Yeah, none of it could have been done if he had not been with his more financially stable wife. Yeah, no, I'm me and you, same page. Same page.
Can I do Yoda here? And I was testing him because I'm like, he's not gonna, he didn't really mean I could do anything. He's like, sure. Can I do a little Japanese girl voice? He's like, sure. I mean, anything I could think of, he would let me do. And it was so fun. Last weekend, I was in Longview at the East Texas Comic Con, and somebody brought up a DVD of Level E, and I'm like, bro, I love you. You just made my day. But that's the first one that came to mind. But there have been plenty. There have been plenty. Because, you know what, let me just kind of get serious here for a minute. I love voice acting. I miss voice acting.
Oh my god, Cry! Cry harder! Oh, it's this. Oh, level. Okay, no, I'm familiar with Level E. Okay, I had to look at it to see what it was. It's this. For anybody who's curious. If you want to be a voice actor again, stop being an asshole! For fuck's sakes!
It's never been about the money. Because I promise you, back when I started, there wasn't anything to be made, really. I love the craft. I love being able to play
You're a sugar baby! You're a sugar baby! Stop talking about money when you're in a financially fucking stable situation.
You will never get cast as on stage. Or on screen. If you can do a number of different voices, the sky's the limit for the kind of character you might get to play. I love it, and every character I ever got to play, no matter how big or how small, I put my heart into it. Because I love the craft. There are some people, and I'm going to go out on a limb here.
You love the craft, you've been doing it for 25 years, and you still are admittedly bad at it? If you love the craft, would you not, stretch and practice and move your voice around? And, learn new things and engage people about those things and maybe watch other dubbed series and animes? Yeah, I don't think so. Extra doubt, my guy. I don't believe you. This is like when I hear people say something along the lines of, oh my god, I love true crime, which is why and I love the law, which is why I've done nothing to, educate myself in what legal terms mean. Or bother to look up the case file.
I don't even mind if people give me a hard time for this, because why not, right?
I love anime, but the only anime I've ever seen are the ones that I've been in. No, you love yourself, Vic.
There are people in every industry who dial it in. They just, you know what I mean? They're there to get a paycheck, and you've seen them. They may work at a store you work at. They may work at a restaurant. They may fix cars. Any number of businesses or jobs.
You can do both. You can love what you do and just be there for a paycheck. And sometimes you can have a shitty role that you don't like. That doesn't mean you hate voice acting.
There are people that are like, how little do I have to do to get my paycheck? You talk to them on the phone sometimes, right? Customer service people. So there are people like that in the voice acting world too, who just, kind of dial it in. It's a gig. For me, it was never that. I loved it. I always loved it, no matter how big or small the role was. So, in answer to your question, are there characters that you felt didn't get the attention or the love? Yeah, but I love them all deeply and cherish the privilege to play the characters that I got to play. You know what? I'll bet that girl in the back thinks there's no chance she's ever going to call on me. But you would be mistaken. I want to get both of y'all back here. You're next. Yes, ma'am.
So I dabble in voice acting, I just do it with my friends. Do you have any, tips on how to like.
Absolutely. And you know what? Is that there was somebody that asked me about this at my down at my table. And I said, ask me at the Q&A session.
Why would you ask Vic Mignogna about voice acting tips? Girl, yet better taste.
Because I'm sure there are going to be people that would love to hear the answer to that, so can answer all at the same time, right? So, in answer to your question, if you're interested in voice acting, the first thing you want to do is get acting experience. I've said this many times, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. The operative word in voice acting is acting. I've had millions of people come up to me and go, oh, I can sound just like Family Guy, and I can do a perfect imitation of this and that. That's great. Somebody's already got that job. I mean, it's great at parties, right? And it's fun to be able to...
Bro, no, not necessarily. Sometimes that is a fucking... Oh my god. Sometimes imitation lets you practice your vocal range as well as acting. Because you were still acting. And no, there isn't always somebody who has that job. Because guess what? Sometimes those voices of those characters need to be used other places. Or those people need to be replaced eventually. So no! Or somebody is a creep and gets kicked out of the industry. And now it's like, well shit, has anybody got a good Broly? Like, my guy. My fucking guy. Just... Doing imitation is fine. Don't rely on that alone for whatever it is that you want to do, but holy shit, my guy. You want me to be the voice of reason here? This is not good advice. How are you supposed to get experience acting, Vic? How are you supposed to get experience acting? Vic! This fucking guy. Unbelievable. Unreal. Take a community college acting class. Take a community college acting class. There you go. That'll do something.
Imitate people. I like imitating people.
Do you?
That's not what voice acting is.
Like who? Do one.
Acting in front of a microphone. You are playing a character.
If I imitate a character in front of a microphone, am I acting? Guys. Does Vic Mignogna not know what acting is? Like, I mean, surely this is not what he means. Surely he means, like, emotional investment, not just imitation. And, like, sometimes there is more or less emotional investment into the performance of an imitation, right? When I'm doing my Trump voice, I'm acting and I'm being emotional, but I am not, like, delving deep for any kind of, like, grit or realism to that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I'm doing. It's a joke. but like, if I want to do a voice for I don't know, Marvin the Martian, and I start imitating Marvin the Martian, there's a difference between me going, oh, there's been an earth-shattering kaboom. There's a difference between doing that and doing like, oh look, I can do the voice, versus if I want Marvin the Martian to be angry. And if I want Marvin the Martian to be angry, as in the kaboom didn't happen, you're gonna change the way you present the line. So instead of, oh no, there's been an earth-shattering kaboom, it's, oh no, there's been an where's my earth-shattering kaboom? And you can blow it out of proportion, or you can make it like whatever. It doesn't fucking matter, dude. You just, what are you talking about? Oh, dude, Toad? Oh, hold on. I gotta do that one from away from the mic. Hello! I'm Toad! Like, you can do impressions and have them be a big deal or not. It's not the end of the world. It's like, fucking Christ. Unbelievable. Like, it's... This is also, like, anime of the 90s versus, like, what you're expecting to hear and see and find in 2026. Guys, it is 2026. Anime has come a long way in the expectation, the art form, and how it's developed. I don't think I do a very good Elmo. Actually, I don't think I've ever practiced Elmo. I should practice Elmo. I should be able to do Elmo. I used to kind of be able to do Kermit the Frog, but it's been a long time. Yeah, the current voice acting pool is very diverse. Yeah, you ever seen the guy who did the voiceover for Fiddlesticks from League of Legends? Like, holy shit!
Hopefully emoting and creating moments that are funny or sad or suspenseful or scary or whatever with your voice. So the first thing I would encourage you to do is to get as much experience acting as you can. Get involved in school plays, get involved in church productions, get involved in community theater, get online and audition for things for free, because all of it helps you get better at the craft.
Oh, you're gonna get paid in practice and exposure. Take an acting class.
The second thing is, you know what? The second thing I used to tell people that I'm now going to throw out, because it doesn't really apply as much anymore. You have to be where the work is. I used to say that all the time, because for the longest time it was true. If you lived in, Bowling Green...
Make the connections. You need to go take an acting class, practice on your own, and then go out into places to make the connections that you need to make within the industry itself. If that's what you want to do, that's how you need to do it. The end.
In Kentucky, you might be the greatest voice actor ever, and you're never going to get a chance to voice act, because they just don't do stuff like that there. You have to be where the work is.
No.
But not so much anymore, y'all.
Yeah, see? Not so much anymore, y'all.
You live in a very blessed time, because there are a lot of companies that audition online, and if you have a good mic in a quiet room where your dog doesn't bark and trucks don't drive by, and you can record good audio, you could even get cast and record your lines. Anybody know Ruby? That show Ruby?
No.
I played Crow, Uncle Crow, right? Good old Uncle Crow, yeah, he's a good guy, isn't he?
Good old Uncle Crow, he's a big guy. End my suffering. Get me out.
Never recorded it Rooster Teeth. Never went to Rooster Teeth. I recorded that in my home in LA. They would send me the lines, and I would record the lines. I'd record 3 different versions of a line, because you're never really sure, right? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Generally, you get notes when you get a script, but alright.
There's 3 of the same line. Different inflection, right? Different intention. Never recorded at the studio. So you have a lot of opportunities online that didn't exist years ago.
Is he gonna mention abridging? You guys think he's gonna mention that you can just make your own and dub it yourself for funsies? I don't have facepalm protection. I do have my stress monkey though. My angry, screaming stress monkey.
But the most important thing is this. I really think it is, even more so than talent. And that is tenacity. Don't give up easily. If you're the kind of person who's like, oh...
And how's that working out for you, Vic? Is it working out good? Lack of talent, nothing but tenacity? Yeah, it's like one of those stress balls. It's full of sand. It's just an angry yelling monkey.
I auditioned 4 times, and I didn't get anything. Guess what? The 5th time might have been the winner. That 5th time might have been the opportunity you were waiting for, and you gave up too soon. We all know people...
Why don't I have my face palm protection yet? He's still sending them. He's still getting them ready. I haven't received mine yet.
I've heard them sing, and I'm like, how the heck did they get a recording contract?
Networking!
Right? They may not be the most talented singer in the world. We see people on TV shows occasionally, or in movies, we're like, man, they're not a good actor. How in the world they... It's not necessarily the most talented people that get the opportunities. It's the people that don't give up. It's the people that just keep at it and keep at it.
It's the people who know how to make the connections in the right places. There is a degree of luck that comes with it as well. Like, yes, you have to keep making yourself these opportunities. You can't just rely on the universe coming together for you, and you need to practice and learn and get good, scrub. But, like, I can imitate the genie all day up and down. That doesn't mean I can go and do it. Right? It doesn't mean I'd be able to do it off the cuff.
And keep at it. So, that would be my third suggestion, is if you have a real passion for it, stick with it. Don't get discouraged easily. We're getting close on our time here, where we're going to be transitioning into our Vampire Night panel. So as soon as my co-stars get here, as soon as the rest of the gang gets here, we'll probably roll right into it. But I told her that I was going to let her ask a question. She's like, oh no, he meant it. He's coming back here with the microphone. Now I'm stuck. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know if it's controversial or not, but I did notice something. Is there a reason why you use an alias for ghost stories?
Oh.
Okay, you hear them laughing up there, right? That's because they know the answer to this question. Is there a reason that I used an alias in the show Ghost Stories? Stop laughing. Yes, there is. Okay, Ghost Stories. Do you remember we were talking early on when we talked, if somebody asked about, do the Japanese sometimes cast shows, have the ultimate decision in shows? Remember that question?
The
Remember
Japanese.
I also said that sometimes they have shows that don't.
He says the Japanese. Every time he says it like that, I'm just like, oh god.
Really do very well, and so they're like, hey, just do whatever you want. We don't really care. Ghost.
Yes, Vic Mignogna was basically typecast as, like, squirrely-esque characters that were very bad with women.
Stories was one of those shows. It did not do well in Japan. And so the Japanese company that owned it was like, hey, you know what? If you can make anything out of this, go ahead. So ADV Films, here in Houston, was dubbing that show. And they brought in all these voice actors. We were all working together, all buddies, all friends, going out bowling together, having a good time. Me, Chris Patton, Monica Rial, Greg Ayers, Lucy.
All these people who said they weren't actually friends with him.
Christian, we were all in it together, having a great time. Well, they were going in and recording this show called Ghost Stories, and I had not been in it yet. And they would come out of the studio laughing their heads off.
So they were all having a good time without you?
And they'd be telling me how they would spend the whole thing. There was no script. They were just making stuff up. And honestly poking fun at each other and other people in the studio. And I was thinking, this really kind of sounds funny. They're like, oh yeah, we took shots at you too. And I'm like, of course you did. And then one day, he called me in, Stephen Foster, I'll never forget it, to play a character. So I went in, and he told me what he wanted me to do, and I very quickly realized that I got myself into a pickle. Because it was rather, you know what I mean, on that borderline of, this is...
It was racy.
I don't feel good about this. But I was committed. So when we got done, I said to Stephen Foster, hey,
I don't want my mom to see this.
An alias, like a stage name, screen name, because I don't really feel good about this show. And he's like, sure, what do you want it to be? And I said the stupidest thing ever. Oh, I don't care, you pick something. I told the director, I don't care, you pick something. When the disc came out,
the director was nicer than I would have been. I would have just changed your name to Vic McDick. Like,
I didn't even know. I didn't even know it came out. I didn't want to know. And if I come to a convention just like this, and a fan comes up and wants me to sign her copy of Ghost Stories,
Because they recognized your voice immediately because you have zero voice differentiation because you're a bad voice actor.
And I'm like, how do you even know I'm in this show? Something's not right here. And I'm like, she said, oh, I recognized your voice immediately.
Yes, because you have zero voice differentiation.
And I said, so how was I credited? She said, your name in the credits is Obi Frost Tips. He knew I was a Star Wars fan. And Frost Tips, I guess he thought that. So even now.
And here we are 20 to 30 years later, and he's still got frosted tips, man. I guess it tracks.
600 years later, people will come, hey, good to see you, Obi Frost Tips. So apparently, that's one that'll stick with me forever. Yes.
Okay, I don't know if you know this, but going back to the Full Metal Alchemist thing, but did you know that there was another English dub for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood from a company called Anime Matsuri?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, so they dubbed it in Southeast Asia, so like in the Asian countries that speak English, and anyway, so in that dub, they actually had two girls that play Edward and Alphonse, but
Well, there's your option. If you want to watch Brotherhood without Vic Mignogna playing Edward in it, you can go and watch the Animax one.
I can't really say much for Armstrong because they tried to make him sound like he had a fake German accent. So
I had never heard that. That's very interesting. Anybody else know about that? Wow, okay, so you two.
He doesn't know about it because he's not in it. He doesn't care because he only cares about things that he's in.
Maybe the only people. Yeah, I've never even heard about that. Very interesting. There are videos on YouTube.
And he's not friends with anybody. And he's not friends with anybody who's an anime fan. And he's not friends with anybody who's like in the industry because nobody likes him and he doesn't actually like anime. Have you heard him in this entire thing say that he liked anime? He said he liked voice acting. He didn't say he liked anime.
Everybody. Is my Vampire Night family here yet? Are you here yet?
Oh,
I'm just keeping an eye on that door. As soon as they're here, I hope you'll stick with us and we'll morph into a Vampire Night.
Cringe. But that's sad to hear that it's the Animax dub is lost media. How unfortunate.
Q&A, is that right? Oh, 4:30, okay. So you're stuck with me for another few minutes. Is that okay?
No.
All right, question.
Ah.
I hope this isn't too personal. How's your role as Eric Elric walking closer to your fate? Because he's not American.
Definitely not. I've had that question a lot. Oh, you're supposed to be this Christian dude, and you're supposed to be all religious, and how can you play a character that...
Who said this? Bullshit. So who said that? Who asked him this? Like, who's out here being like, oh, you're a Christian and you played a character that wasn't a Christian, what the fuck? Like, who? Where? When? Bullshit.
Agnostic at best, and atheist at worst. And my answer is today what it has always been.
Oh,
it's
ready?
called acting. I don't have to be the person to play the person.
Oh, okay, but that's a cop-out, right? Like, that's a cop-out answer. Because the question, that's one, not the question the person asked. The person asked is, how did playing Edward Elric, who is definitively not a Christian, affect your faith as a Christian IRL? Because, Vic Mignogna says these characters play a role in his life, right? So, no. This is... Also, even if somebody said, hey, you're a Christian, how are you playing this atheistic character? How do you square that circle as in that's okay? is less of a question about the particular character and more of a question about how are you doing mainstream media as somebody who's supposed to be, like, doing things by giving glory to God, and its acting doesn't address the theological question. When that's what that is. That's a theological question about how do you square that circle. And I'm not saying that there aren't ways you can't square that circle, but to be so dismissive about something that I'm sure some people find very important.
People who know me know what I believe. People who know me know...
Doesn't matter. You're talking about the difference between believing something and behaving in a certain way. You really think you cooked with this line, right? No, if people who know me think I'm a nice person, so why do you keep being a creep? Well, people who know me know. Oh. What about the people who know you that didn't want to? And now they do, because of your fucked up behavior. Because the behavior means a little bit more than just your belief alone, right? Presumably. What would Jesus do, Vic?
Know me, and they know my feelings on those things, and my heart and my beliefs. But you know
so what?
I find it fascinating because he's a searcher. He's not really sure about much of anything. He thought he was kind of cocky, right? Pretty arrogant. But man, when he loses his mom, dad leaves, brothers almost
That's the first episode.
killed. Suddenly, here are two little boys in a very big, very dark world.
That's the first episode!
And, to be honest, that could be any of us. Right? Alone in a big, dark world sometimes. We feel that way.
Oh my god.
Ed loses his mother. Does anyone blame him for shaking his fist at the heavens? And questioning? I wouldn't. That's a valid feeling. Somebody in this room may have had that feeling.
All feelings are valid, Vic. That's why they're feelings.
Somebody's going to play that character. And I don't have to agree with his opinions because it's not me.
That's not the question!
It's him. I've often used the example, if you put on a passion play at your church, somebody has to play Judas. Right? Somebody in the church is going...
You could go get somebody who doesn't believe in Christianity to play Judas. That'd be pretty funny. I don't know if you know this, but Judas didn't not believe that Jesus was Jesus, Vic. Just wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Wait. Oh, God.
Going to have to portray Judas or Pilate or somebody in the story for the purpose of the story. Now, it doesn't mean that they're Judas. It just means they're playing the character for the purpose of the story. That's my answer. Yes,
okay.
I'm glad you guys are sticking with me.
That did not answer the question. The question was, how did playing the character affect your faith? Not, if you have faith, why are you playing the character, is what he changed the question to. So you didn't answer the question.
By the way, I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again because there are more people in here than yesterday. I love y'all. I hope you can tell that. Can you tell that?
No, I think you love yourself. You're disrespectful to people's questions, you're disrespectful to their time. You try to drag them into your fucking emotional grievances that you have about private people's contracts with companies. No, I don't think that at all.
I am so grateful for all of you and for the kindness that you have extended over the years, for the things that I have done that you've enjoyed, the work that I've done that you've enjoyed. It never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to humble me that anyone still cares. So thank you. And if you take nothing else away from this weekend,
I think I can hear in the background like a panel across the way cheering and having a hell of a good time.
Make sure you take that with you. Put that in your pocket and hold on to it. That I am so grateful and thankful to God that I ever had.
Why should I value that? But I'm just curious. Like you said to take it and put it in my pocket, like it should mean something to me. Why? Why should it?
A chance to be a part of this industry, that I got to do what I did, and mostly that I got to interact with you guys, because you made it. You made it, guys. You really made this. You make the industry. Don't forget that. Don't forget it. Promise me.
You see what he's doing? He set up this story. He set up how he values you as individuals so much in the industry. Then the next day he tells this story about how the industry is doing him dirty and doing him wrong, gets people emotionally invested and emotionally pumped, turns it into a personal grievance for each of them as individuals, then tries to build some kind of like emotional and social expectation that if you want things to change in the industry for Vic Mignogna, it's your responsibility because it's your industry. So there's a call to action. He's trying to motivate and instigate these people into doing something for him.
Don't forget it. And when you see or hear people taking advantage of the industry,
wow, sorry, it took you 30 seconds to figure it out. Good. It's all, yeah, you're right. You got it. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Call it out. Because it's your industry.
See? Call it out. If you see unfair, let me describe this unfair thing that happened to me. Now, remember, it's your industry, and if you see it, call it out. There's the call to action. He's trying to emotionally manipulate his audience into having a parasocial relationship with him, so that way they will do things that will enable him in his career so he can continue to make money. Why doesn't he do some free dubbing for people then? He's got a studio at home, doesn't he?
And my wife knows that I'm purposefully holding back my passion about this.
I say don't.
Don't let people hijack your industry. They're doing it.
Ooh.
For their own greedy purposes.
And what are you doing besides hijacking people and trying to morally blackmail people? You're turning this into a moral question and a theological debate.
And I'm hoping that you guys will fight for your industry. There was a time, very different time in this industry when things were very different in a much better way. But you're still here.
That's not what you described in this panel. You described it as being the exact fucking same.
And as long as you're kicking, there's possibility to make things better.
What a
so
joke.
Stand up for that kind of thing when you see and hear about it, okay? Yes, sir. Now those are some great pants. Check this out. Stand up on this chair. Stand up on the chair. That's what I'm talking about, dog.
Awesome. So I'm going to piggyback off of the last question. Two great moments in Full Metal was when Edward was talking.
If you got manipulated by Vic Mignogna, don't be too hard on yourself, because like some of this shit is really subtle. Especially if you don't know.
Talking to Rose, and he was explaining that all the ingredients of the human body, and you can't create life with it. And his life is a miracle that defies the laws of equivalent exchange were two of my favorite moments, and I feel like you had a lot of emotion coming through in both of those scenes, and you said you always let your emotion shine through. Could you say more about that?
Well, I think obviously the best kind of acting is something that hits you viscerally, right? The best actors are ones that are not afraid, that they don't hold themselves in. They let it out, and it comes through, and the audience hopefully feels that. They just know it. They can just sense it. That they're not just reading lines or
Did you just not understand how acting works, Vic? Jesus Christ.
memorizing things. They really are invested in this. And as I said a minute ago, Edward Elric is a seeker. He is looking for what's real and what's true. And you just highlighted it. At the beginning of the show, he's like, ha, you might as well put away the scriptures and pick up an alchemy book, right? Because we're the closest things to gods there are. Whoa, right? You're like...
No, well, no, I wasn't like that, and I was also a Christian at the time when that was coming out, and also, the alchemy in Fullmetal Alchemist is real? Like, it is the science of that world, like, it fucking functions, like, God, why do you even try to talk about this shit? You're so far out of your depth, Vic.
No, you can get away from this kid, lightning bolt gonna strike him any minute, right? But that's how cocky he was. Then. But the next thing you know, he's talking about life as a miracle that defies equivalent exchange. And remember when they couldn't save Nina? Suddenly he says, we're not gods. We're just tiny, insignificant humans who couldn't even save a little girl. You see the dichotomy? He's struggling to understand it all. And I mean,
part of that also depends on the type of god you're talking about. Are you talking about an omnipotent, all-powerful god, or are you talking about a deity that isn't omnipotent and or isn't all-powerful? Because those exist. At least people believe those exist.
A lot of people are, even here and now, and I think that's why that resonates with them. Vampire Night people here yet? I don't want to, okay, still 420, this is my time. I love this. Spider-Man, gonna ask you a question. Yes, sir.
Just give me a second, so, I want to ask you, given how well you understand fandoms and the current culture.
Given how well you understand fandoms and current culture. So next to 0. Okay, got it.
How would someone who's starting a Square One use something he creates to create his own kind of community and fandom? But not only that, secure it, have it, keep it as a safe haven from people who would come sneak in to divide, taint this IP that you want to create, something that you create sacred. How would...
That's a question. Hard question.
That is actually an interesting question. It's not very well worded, but if I'm understanding correctly, the question this person is trying to ask is, how have you successfully managed to build your own community and fan base and keep that fan base from being, like, either destroyed by being toxic or being destroyed by outside forces? Now, it's a little bit nonsense in the context that we understand Vic Mignogna and we understand, like, the Risenbull Rangers and how problematic the Risenbull Rangers were and how predatory Vic is. It is an interesting question, but the concept here, and Mars Girl is 100% correct, that Vic keeps bringing this up, this line from Ed, as if that's Ed admitting that God exists, when that is not the case, and that is not what appears to be the situation in the show itself.
There are a lot of big movie studios out there, right? And everybody wants to get a movie made. And maybe one of the most common tales you will ever hear are people that had a dream of an idea and they wanted to get it made into a film or a TV series, and it ended up being nothing like what they created.
This person is asking about communities and fan bases. And yeah, you got a good point. Vic did pretty much destroy his fan base. He burned them the fuck out.
Because in order to keep the deal alive, they had to make concessions. And concessions. And concessions. Oh, we want to change this, we don't like that, we want to make this, and the whole time.
No, yeah, Heated Rivalry makes a good example. Heated Rivalry was rejected by Hollywood, or it was presented to Hollywood, and Hollywood wanted to make too many changes, and so the producer said, fucking no, and went to a different studio and produced it in Canada, and it's come out amazing, and it's a hit. So, no, wrong, incorrect.
Time you're thinking, okay, well, am I going to lose this if I don't agree to these changes? And nobody can answer that question but you.
this doesn't answer the
willing
question.
are you to stand
This doesn't answer the question because Vic doesn't know what he's talking about.
on it and keep it safe? Let me tell you something, guys. If your goal is to be popular, there are a lot of ways you can be popular. They're not very good.
You would
They
know.
will steal your soul. You will probably feel a little sick until you ultimately feel nothing. All
You would
because
know.
You wanted to be popular. If your goal is to be rich, there are a lot of ways to get rich, but they may not be legal and they may not be ethical. So the question is, how badly do you want that goal? See what I'm saying?
There are not actually that many ways to get rich, especially in the United States right now, and a lot of that also has to do with luck of the draw of how you were born.
What are you willing to do? People want attention. Look at our world. Sorry, soapbox. People want attention so bad.
There is a lot to do with we have monetized attention. And so because we have monetized attention in a capitalistic setup, a capitalist structure, therefore attention is worth money. Duh.
People are so desperate to be relevant. They want to believe that they're not just some anonymous person
People, definitely not him.
that nobody knows, nobody ever will know. They hang out in their bedroom and they watch videos and no one...
I hope when I die, my entire fucking YouTube channel and YouTube presence gets deleted and yeeted out of existence. I hope everything I've ever made gets destroyed and nobody remembers anything I've ever said or done.
Never know or care if they just disappeared. And they want so desperately to be noticed and so desperately to be heard and to be acknowledged. And you know what the sad part is? They want it so bad, they will do
or say anything. Wow, he's so predictable.
If it means trashing someone that they may not even know. They don't care that they just...
Okay, I just want to say real quick, the absurdity of saying that you can't criticize somebody if you don't know them personally is actually insane. Like, that's just not true whatsoever and makes zero sense.
Ruined your life. All they care about is, woohoo, 25 people liked my post.
Bro, how the fuck did you ruin somebody's life with a Twitter post that only got 25 likes? Quite frankly, that's impressive.
That's a dark road to go down, you guys.
I've ruined people's lives with less notoriety. Like, as in I have less notoriety than the person whose life I ruined. Like, I've wrecked people's, like, existences on YouTube on more than one occasion with far less than 25 likes on said thing, because that's not the... Numbers are bullshit. If you make something good that people value, the numbers that YouTube is gonna show you or Twitter is gonna show you is a fraction of anything that he's even mad at. Yeah, why does he even care about somebody who only has 25% reach? Like, it's nonsense. He's trying to upplay what people did to him, quote unquote, and then also downplay their success about how much what they said actually matters, and he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. You ruined your own life with that lawsuit. You ruined your own life with your behavior and your continued behavior.
I pray and I ask you, please don't go down that road.
Yeah, whatever.
But if you've created something, like you said, that you feel strongly about, you have a passion for, guard it.
I feel strongly about goofing on creeps. So, am I in the clear?
And protect it. Because if you don't, what it ends up being may not look anything like what you created. And you'll feel pretty crummy for having compromised all along the way just to get this thing.
Depends on what it is you're making and what it is you end up with, isn't it? So what if you tried making this thing but ended up with this thing and this thing's really cool and amazing and you still worked hard on it? I think you can still be proud of that thing. And then if you still want to try to make this thing, you can do another thing. You know, you can do more than one thing at a time, or do more than one thing with your life, right? Like, you can... Yeah, this guy doesn't know how creating anything works. Like, this dude is, like, probably one of the least creative fucking people I've ever heard talk about trying to be creative. No wonder everything he says is fucking wrong. He just rides off of the coattails of other people's success and pretends it's him doing it.
Man, that was heavy, wasn't it? Sorry, y'all. Yes.
Was it?
Okay. Oh, I'm so glad I called on you. It seems like my question's a little bit lighter. Okay, good.
Actually goes back to
Okay.
your caliber as an actor. Can you actually
Which is not great.
try with you, or do you use fake tears?
You don't need to have tears as a voice actor. You're not on camera. That's one of the major contention. One of the difficulties of voice acting is being able to portray a emotion without being able to use facial expressions. Right? That the animation part does that. You don't need to be able to cry on cue with literal tears when you're voice acting. You need to, like, get your voice to tremble. You need to make it sound like you're going to cry. You need to be able to choke up. You don't have to necessarily actually cry. Not that you couldn't. Like, if you could, sure, great. That might be helpful, depending on the circumstance, but, like, it's... Okay.
Well, look, the time's up. We don't have any more time. No, you know what? That's a great question. When it comes to voice acting, I can sound like I'm crying. Thank you.
We've literally watched Vic try to fake cry yesterday's and also today's at least twice.
Yeah, the front people heard you. My wife's like, he cries all the time. Yeah, and she's right. I'm a very emotional person. I cry at movies, I cry. I almost cried a minute ago when I was talking to you guys because I feel passionate about a lot of things. So something that moves me, like Full Metal or certain, come on up you guys. Vampire Night is getting ready to begin. Give them a round of applause, everybody. There have been plenty of moments in anime series that have moved me to tears. And the director would say, hey, do you want to take a minute? You know, you want to gather your composure? I'm like, are you kidding? Record now, right? Hurry, while it's still real and visceral, you capture it.
Ah, yes, Vic knows better than the directors.
Yeah, and I'm sure these great voice actors would agree. That's part of acting, is being able to sound like you are heartbroken, or psychotic, or angry, or sad, or whatever.
Correct, it is voice acting, thank you.
In a great mood, or drunk, or whatever. That's part of it. And you may not actually feel it at the time, but that's what acting is all about, right?
Kind of, but not quite, but okay. I'm not gonna argue.
Okay, well, how are we gonna do this? We can take that on the stage? Awesome. I think if you have another battery, that mic might need it.
Alright, then that is the end of day 2. Hooray! Guys, do you want to do day 3 today? 1 in the chat if you want to do day 3 right now. 2 in the chat if you want to wait till like Friday. Let me know. I'm gonna take a break real quick, and I'll be RB. I don't know, 12? Yo, how long have we even been live for? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. What year is it? We've been live for nearly 3 hours, which, you know, isn't that bad. That's not that long. But is it just because it may have gotten buried? Is Vic trying to portray that Full Metal Alchemist is somehow Christian? I thought Full Metal had a very anti-religion stance. So Vic Mignogna is a Christian, so he tries to sort of, when he talks about it, I don't want to say it's because he's a Christian that he does this, but it kind of comes with the territory of, like, that sort of evangelical side of things where he seems to come from, is that he tries to interpret it through that lens, one way or another. He does seem to think that Ed sort of, I guess, accepted that God existed, but that doesn't seem to be a very accurate interpretation. At least it doesn't to me, but I mean, it's been a while since I watched it. I haven't done, like, a proper fucking, like, real analysis of any anime in a long time, so you have to forgive me on that one. It's been a while. It seems to be the case. I'm just looking at people's answers here, and it looks like you guys are saying 222s. That I should wait until... That I should wait. So yeah, we can wait and do 3 on Friday. Vic does seem like he is just, like, everything is very self-centered with him. He's very much like, it's a lot of sophistry. He says a lot of things while saying nothing. You know what I mean? Vic never ever talks past the first few episodes of FMA and just in the intro. Well, I mean, it's not like you see people asking Vic complicated questions about, like, the politics of the military in FMA, you know what I mean? The thing with a narcissist, you give them any attention, they will have their refill of ego boost. You have to shut them down completely from having any power to continue their manipulation. Yeah, but at the same time, you can't you can't shut down somebody socially in totality, right? We are social creatures, let alone if you try to take somebody and who does have this sort of status that Vic does, as low as it is at this point. He has a terrible reputation. You can't, like, eliminate them from existence. On the other hand, being a narcissist isn't, like, a death sentence, you know what I mean? Like, you can deal with that. You can cope with that. You can learn to manage narcissism. It's not the end of the world. So, you can work with that. I am so washed out right now. I'm the vampire knight now. I'm not gonna fix it. Whatever. We're wrapping up, so fuck it. I thought there was basically an authoritarian religious state that they have to push back against. I haven't watched the show. So in Full Metal Alchemist, they have, like, a, it's run by the state is the military. The government is the military. Right? So they have, like, a fascist authoritarian regime, ostensibly. Like, they literally have a Führer. It's not subtle. And they were doing a genocide. That's what the Philosopher's Stone was about. They were specifically doing a genocide in the desert. Like, it wasn't subtle, man. If only he'd gone to therapy. Well, according to the interview that I watched not too long ago, they're doing church therapy. They're doing therapy at the church, which is always like a... Listen, it's not impossible for that to be helpful, and it's not impossible for that to work, but boy, do I get a yikes from that one, because it's usually not properly accredited. I used to actually, I have a stepbrother who went to seminary, and I used to give him a hard time because he would say these platitudes as he was going through schooling to be a pastor, which I don't think he is. I don't think he's a pastor. And he used to say these platitudes, and he'd, like, post them or whatever, and then I'd throw them back at him and be like, okay, yeah, but this, or this. And he got really mad at me, and I'm like, bro, I'm helping you, because you're going to be facing real people with real problems that are really going to be coming to you for help. And if you don't think about the things that they're actually saying and what these platitudes actually mean, you're going to get people hurt. Anyway, he really didn't like that. I'm not sorry, and I'd do it again. Wasn't there a religious aspect to the leader of the regime? To the Führer? Well, I mean, Full Metal Alchemist had religious connotation. Like, a lot of religious connotations. So, like, the sins, right? Lust, greed, the homunculus were like lust, greed, envy, gluttony. Right? So, yeah, it had a lot of that. And there were, like, questions about, like, having godlike power and control over life and death via alchemy, right? That was a whole thing to the show. Admittedly, again, it's been a while since I watched it, so you're not gonna get a whole nuanced take from me unless I sat down and rewatched it, but alas, I'm probably not gonna. Actually, I have a question for you guys, since we probably have a handful of people who do watch anime more regularly here than I have recently. I've fallen out of anime a little bit. If you had to recommend something that's come out in the last 5 years to me, what would you suggest I watch? I feel like it's impossible for a narcissist to change from their ways, to be honest. I don't know if Vic's upbringing made him the way he is or if he's naturally born like this, but a lack of empathy is really weird to change with a person's brain. Well, narcissism is a diagnosis, and you can actually, like, go and get therapy. Like, you can get help, and you can cope with narcissism. It's like any other diagnoses that you get with any kind of, like, any diagnosis like that, mental diagnoses. So, like, if you get diagnosed with ADD, or you get diagnosed with you're somewhere on the autism spectrum, you can learn and find ways to cope with that thing. Same with narcissism. What you might be linking narcissism with a little bit here, based on my reading of your comment, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is sort of like antisocial behaviors. And or a lack of empathy, meaning psychopathy or sociopathy. And if you're talking about psychopathy or psychopathy, you're born with. Sociopathy is generally something has happened to you that has severed that empathetic connection. And so you can't, quote unquote, fix psychopathy. That's the way you were born. Now you can learn how to cope with it and not be a piece of shit. Just because you're a psychopath doesn't mean you're a serial killer. And so same with narcissism, right? Just because you've been diagnosed with narcissism, whether you were born that way or whether you came to it via trauma or some other means, it doesn't mean that you can't learn to cope with it and be a better person. There are people who have narcissism that are on YouTube and make YouTube content, and they talk about having narcissism and how that's affected their life and what they can do. The question is whether or not you're somebody who wants to be a better person and whether or not your narcissism is preventing you from getting help. But based on what I've seen, this is just as not a professional, and just based off of what I've seen, people who don't want to get help aren't gonna get help. People who don't want to be better people aren't gonna be better people, right? Whether they're a narcissist or not, they're not gonna be more or less likely to go and get that help. Marshall said Christianity apparently at one point long ago did exist in the world of Full Metal Alchemist. It's not huge or largely focused on right up front, but it's there and it's buried in there. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that symbology in there. So should we give Vic the chance to cope with whatever sick shit is going on with his brain? Well, I mean, that's not up to us. Right? This is not something that we would be able to control or really have any say in whatsoever. Right? We can't diagnose Vic. I'm not a psychologist, and even if you are a psychologist, if you're going to diagnose somebody, you need to be a therapist who is licensed, who has had one-on-one conversations and has been able to, like, run those tests and interact with them. I don't think Vic Mignogna is somebody who is currently trying to learn how to cope with his issues. right? And that's not something that you do publicly. That is generally something that you would be doing. That's something that's up to your family, your friends, the people who are close to you to deal with, not shitters on the internet. Like, it's straight up not our place, right? Whether or not, which I think is a little bit more accurate to what you're asking, correct me if I'm wrong, is if Vic Mignogna goes away, allegedly comes back and fixes his issues, do we give him the opportunity to go to conventions and not be a creep? And the answer is maybe tentatively, depends on under what context, right? If he's going around being a normal person in his day-to-day life, and then he's going around to places like a normal human being, like the ice cream store or whatever, then I don't personally think that's impossible, but thered have to be a whole rehabilitation process. So, and again, that's not something you would necessarily even see, right? Would you bring him to, like, one of the big cons right out the gate? Probably not. Right? You would just... He might be allowed to work in the industry again. He might... Or maybe not. Maybe he just goes and gets... Coming back to work in the anime industry and coming back to be at conventions just might not be the thing that he gets to do anymore. But that's not the end of the world. That's not the end of his life either. If he wants to go get help and get that shit organized and get his... He should get fixed. If he thinks he has issues, he should go and get those dealt with for himself, not because he thinks he can become a voice actor again. Or because he wants to go to conventions again. He should go for him to just be better and do better and live a better life and be a happier person, right? So, like, maybe he never gets to go to cons again, and sure, that would be fine, but that doesn't mean he doesn't exist in society. You don't... Attending anime conventions is not the end of the world, right? Star says, honestly, if someone like that was in my life, I would forever keep them at arm's length because they may see a benefit to themselves to manipulate me, so I wouldn't trust them with anything important. Yeah, valid. If this was like a friend of yours that then you found out all this stuff about them and then you decided to not be their friend anymore, or you were like, okay, well, I'll acknowledge that you still exist, but we're not cool. He's old enough to retire? Well, I think he's forcibly been retired, but yeah. In this economy? I don't know. It's not like MAGA conventions wouldn't let him go. I don't know why he hasn't made the grift to politics yet, quite frankly. It seems like the obvious option. Maybe it's because most of that's in the decline now. I have no problem with people needing help after they just made an innocent mistake or wasn't trying to be harming, but Vic has plenty of victims at this point. Oh, sure, yeah. Vic is a MAGA creep. Trust is difficult at that point. Yeah, he would have to actually participate in society without doing those things for any amount of time before he ought to be allowed anywhere. Right? Like, clearly. Clearly. But I guess the question is how does somebody who's been like Vic Mignogna portray that they've changed and they're a better person? Can they? Maybe. Depends on the individual, right? It's not like the United States is terribly bothered by, like, fucking sex pests, right? You think Vic Mignogna should be in jail? Probably. I think he probably should have gotten jail time. Sure, but he was never charged. Because when the stuff that was happening with Vic Mignogna was just not... The processes were not in place to enable that. You can't retroactively do that because you think the guy's a creep, right? You might be convinced, and it might be very clear that he did something, but that's just not how the law works. And it's not how the law can work, right? I don't know if the average anime fan hates manga or is ambivalent towards it. Do you mean anime fan in the United States, or do you mean anime fan and how anime fans feel about authoritarianism? From my understanding, not a whole ton. But Vic wants to live a lavish lifestyle. That's part of all these people wanting to make a comeback and they crave the attention. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's married to her sugar mommy. Right? So he's gonna get to continue living his lavish lifestyle. He's gonna keep showing up at cons and stuff. And yeah, yeah, Megan Fox's giant boobs. I don't know the answer to that one. In the United States? I don't know. Maybe somebody who knows the scene better can run a poll. Most of, like, the content creators that I've seen, or, like content creators I've watched in the past that I still follow on social media, most of them are pretty anti-MAGA. Most of them are pretty anti-Trump. As for, like, fan bases, who knows? Couldn't tell you. Well, I think I'm gonna call it there. I'll be back, probably on Friday, I suspect, to watch Day 3! Hooray! More suffering! And maybe I'll watch the Vampire Night panel. If somebody wants to send me a link to that, I'll see if I can check that out. I'll be back later. Thanks so much for joining me. Something's happening tomorrow. Oh, I'm talking with go to Debate Hub Official. We're going to be talking about cults and stuff, and Scientology specifically, with Chris Shelton over on Debate Hub Official. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna get on out of here. Have a good day, everybody. God, I can't imagine watching this shit by myself. It would be so bad. I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd be walking away being like, what the fuck is this? If you think that you're missing out on Vic Mignogna panels because nobody wants to host him, you're not missing anything. Oh my god, I don't know if I felt like I've wasted my time more recently than this stupid shit. Anyway, I'm gonna do more of that later. Goodbye!
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.